has a GPS tracking. They know exactly where those trucks are. Every time it stops, every time it brakes, every time it indicates, they know exactly where it is, and they can find out why it did what it did. Every stop, in fact, has to be authorized. That truck can't just stop somewhere. You know, they can't go via your house, Amo, even if it's your nephew or your uncle driving that truck. She says integrity has to be the cornerstone of the National Senior Certificate. Do you remember when you wrote your exam? Amo?
There's never a time where I felt important in my family like that particular period, because you would get those random phone calls, and I mean on the landline, right? If you get a phone call on the landline, you know how important it is, because you are phoned by your aunts who are all over the country who would rather use the landline because they're not sure whether your phone is working or not, right? And it was messages of good luck. It was messages of support, random chocolates from my mother.
Care packs.
Oh, care packs. Brand new stationery from my brother just for the exams. Oh, Bongani. It was a beautiful moment, but also very nerve-wracking. And I think when you have the support, the nerves kind of goes down.
Ease a little bit.
Yeah.
Muteo, did you get care packs?
I was about to say to you, it's exciting for you because you're not sitting for an exam.
No, but I mean, I remember in my school, it's fair to say perhaps not amongst all of us, our cohort, but there was certainly a group of us whose conversations was who's going to get the most distinctions.
Oh, wow.
That was the aim.
I hated those guys.
You know? And guess who got
because they made you more nervous.
Guess who got the most distinctions?
They made you more. Did you study this? Did you study that?
Guess who got the most distinctions? Asikalapa. Welcome one, welcome all. You're listening to 702 Breakfast. We're absolutely thrilled for the matriculants. If you have any learner who is sitting down for the matric exams that you are excited about, that you want to wish well, this is your opportunity. What's their name? What's their school? And a very, very brief message of support. Please roll them in. Maybe they'll be on their way to work, and by some chance they might be listening. Maybe they've got the radio in the room as they get ready to, go shower or put on their uniform, whatever it may be. Let's wish our matrics a very, very good exam.
You're with Bongani Bingwa.
702 weekday mornings, 6 to 9 a.m.
So shout out to you if you're writing matric in Etwa, if you're in Eastris, if you are in Mansfield, if you're in Mutlakeng, if you're in Roshni, if you're in Rayton. Shout out to you. I'm not alone. Of course, you've heard Amuhelang Ramila, who's here with us on traffic. KG on the desk. Muteo Hwaripe here on business. And producers Robfiwa and Bapelile taking your calls. Cindy, of course, will bring you everything you need to know about the Proteas versus Pakistan. I think it's both the women and the men's team against teams from that country today, in cricket, that is. Sfisa Zulu has everything you need to know in Eyewitness News. On our menu this morning, Amazon Web Services, that outage, it triggered global internet disruptions yesterday. I think a couple of banking apps also weren't available that rely on those services. Toby Shapshak will tell us why that was important. Now, here's a question, and you may have heard them on Mandy Wiener's show yesterday on the Midday Report. There was a real moment, I think, several weeks ago, when Helen Zille's candidacy for Johannesburg mayor was announced. I thought she got enormous mileage from all the interviews that she did on radio stations, on television, in the newspapers. And I would posit that there are many Johannesburgers who may not even like her as a politician or as a person, who certainly disagree with her party's policies on a number of issues, but who look at her and say, she's got the experience, she's got the competence, why not give her a shot, right? Whether they like to say that out loud or not, but I think there were people who seriously thought we could consider this woman. But here we go. Johannesburg possibly has the highest concentration of the beneficiaries of BEE. Let's be honest. This black middle class didn't come out of nowhere. Because whilst, of course, the focus in criticizing BEE is often about ownership and who gets access to state procurement business, a huge part of BEE is who is employed, right? Who leads organizations. And that's where the Joburg middle class comes in. The very voters who were considering Helen Zille. And now her party is coming out once again against BEE. What did Samata Dafigeni say all those years ago? Self-mutilating in a corner, quietly by themselves. And what did President Ramaphosa say? Don't interrupt your adversary whilst making a mistake. Is it a mistake? They're focusing on the millennial development goals. We'll speak to Tebogo Khaas about that and what the DA proposes. And then an extraordinary story about a 1,000-kilometer joyride to go and clean up an army general's yard. The neighbors complained, and this general decided he was going to use resources from the army and made them drive over 1,000 kilometers to do so. Whilst some soldiers are wearing torn uniforms, tattered boots. This is how your money is being spent. We'll celebrate 36 years of Pride, and we speak to MiCasa.
Let's walk the talk.
702.
Here's a question, 14 after 6. Do you have a young person in your life? It could be a niece, it could be your godchild, stepchild, whomever, who's introduced you to new music you otherwise would not have listened to, and you find that you actually enjoy it. Is there a person in your life, quite a bit younger than you are, who's introduced you to new music, new artists that you otherwise would not have been exposed to? Mateo?
You know, I'm that uncle to my nephews. Whenever they play music, I'm like, I know the original to that song.
Yes.
So they hate it, right?
There is that too. There is that, oh, shame. Do you want to hear the original? And they're like, no.
So they've introduced me to a couple of artists that I'm like,
Yeah.
okay, your ear's not too bad. My nephew introduced me to Brent Fires, who's almost like an R&B singer, modern R&B singer, and a rapper called Central C, I think from the UK. And I was like, okay, we can chill.
You could be down with that. You could be down with that. Amoramila, is there an artist that you are now listening to that you otherwise wouldn't be, that you've been introduced to by some of the young people in your life?
I remember when the new era of Amapiano, came through, the artists that I listened to, because my Amapiano was Kabza de Small and them, and my nephew introduced me to other piano artists that I'm now, like Amos, for instance, is one favorite that I love. And Devin Gogo.
I'm looking at my iTunes and I'm looking at the artists that I've been listening to. There's a guy called Sunny Colon. Don't know if you know Sunny Colon. Juju and the Flower Bug is the album. That's what I've been listening to. Destin Conrad. Try that. Love on Digital is called the album. And then Lofi. There's an artist called Lofi. She's got the most amazing song called Silver Lining. I think I've played it about 20 times in the last week. Is there an artist you are listening to that you've been introduced by younger people in your life?
Breakfast with Bongani Bingwa
On 702. Let's walk the talk.
Now, you may remember yesterday we spoke to Adam Gilchrist about an explosive new book that was due out today. This is, of course, the accuser of Prince Andrew, who has now been stripped of his titles, by the way. And that book is out, and the details therein are absolutely extraordinary. I want you to listen to Victoria Derbyshire discussing the release of this book, Nobody's Girl, and it details harrowing experiences of sexual exploitation, and it's all linked to the Jeffrey Epstein scandal. Prince Andrew, of course, has denied all associations with Jeffrey Epstein, I beg your pardon. But the book that's out now from his accuser, who did take her life earlier this year, is out and won't be denied.
Virginia Giuffre's powerful posthumous memoir. I have read this book, and here are some of the things that I have taken away from it. It contains absolutely harrowing accounts of the sexual abuse and cruelty Virginia Giuffre says she suffered at the hands of Epstein and Maxwell. as well as descriptions of the 3 times she says she was sexually abused by Prince Andrew, which he denies. She alleges the 3rd time was on Epstein's Island, and it was with 8 other young women. She talks about a traumatic ectopic pregnancy when she was about the age of 18. She talks about horrific sadomasochism by Epstein, which caused her so much pain, she prayed she would pass out. The descriptions of the abuse by other connected, wealthy associates of Epstein are searing. One man, described by Virginia as a former minister, repeatedly choked her until she lost consciousness.
Quite extraordinary details. That book called Nobody's Girl by Virginia Giuffre, who is, of course, one of the alleged victims of Prince Andrew and Jeffrey Epstein.
You're with Bongani Bingwa.
702 weekday mornings, 6 to 9 a.m.
Muteo
702.
Kharipa, you've got a question of your own?
Yeah, I want to know this morning from you and the 702 landers, Bongani, looking at your current workload, does it feel sometimes like you're doing 2 or 3 jobs? And you wish if the company could afford it, they pay you for those as well?
Oh, absolutely. I mean, I think, look, South Africa, we're in a constrained economic environment.
Sure.
Many people have lost their jobs. Those jobs still need to be done. And so you find that those of us who are lucky enough to be in employment are constantly doing the work of at least 2 or 3 other people, but getting the salary of one. I think that's a common theme almost anywhere you go. I'd be very surprised if anybody said, no, I'm just doing my own.
I'm just doing my job. And that's what I get paid for.
No, and you're reminded to be grateful for it too.
702.
Weather.
Now we can fire the weather. What conditions can you expect on this Tuesday? A cloudy day in store for Gauteng. Isolated afternoon showers and thunder showers are expected. Temperatures much lower than yesterday. The peak in Joburg and Pretoria is 20 degrees. Vereeniging is 24. Bloemfontein is a lovely 25. Durban max is at 22 degrees. East London 24. Cape Town, the outlier, a fine day in store there, a high of 30.
EWN Traffic.
This Eyewitness News traffic is brought to you by Outsurance. SMS out to 45142 now. You could save on your car insurance. If you don't, ask them for 500 Rand. Amo?
Well, we've got delays, Bongani, on the N1 North. This is as you leave the south of Joburg, particularly Eldorado Park, as well as Deep Kloof. Delays towards the Deep Kloof interchange. There's also peak time pressure already piling up on the Mike 1 North between Boysons and Car Street. More updates coming up. Stay tuned.
There's more EWN on air, online, and on the EWN app.
The Outsurance pointsmen know that every car on the road carries a story. There's a car with a parent shuttling his kids, with a back seat full of chatter, laughter, lunchboxes, and lost shoes. The Outsurance pointsmen know it's not just a car in traffic. It's a regular yet special slice of a family's life. Every story's different, and every story matters. That's why the Outsurance pointsmen have been doing what they do since 2005, in proud partnership with 702. Outsurance is a licensed insurer and FSP.
702. Serving the 702 family in 702 land, including those of you in Krugersdorp. Krugersdorp is the site of an 1880 gathering at which more than 6,000 men vowed to fight for Transvaal's independence. Following the discovery of gold on the Witwatersrand, Krugersdorp was established as a town in 1887. Treason trialist and SACP leader Yusuf Dadoo was born in Krugersdorp, and Brad Binder, the first South African to win a MotoGP championship, is also from Krugersdorp. 702. Let's walk the talk across 702 land, including Krugersdorp.
With cybersecurity threats increasing year on year, it is becoming more and more critical for businesses to proactively address potential threats. As the newly appointed Google Security Operations Distributor for Africa, DigiCloud Africa is bringing Google-level security, regardless of the underlying platform, to businesses in Africa. Our specialist partners can help your security teams become more efficient and give you the peace of mind you deserve. Contact info@digicloud.africa to scale your security without limits.
You could spend 10 minutes waiting for the microwave to beep, or get a 10-minute quote from Outsurance that could save you thousands on your car insurance. For his 2024 Suzuki Jimny, 55-year-old Stefan now pays only 611 Rand a month. And for her 2024 Kia Sonet, 31-year-old Palisa pays just 926 Rand a month. Ready to get more out of your car insurance? SMS out to 45142. That's out to 45142. Outsurance, licensed insurer and FSP. TCs and information online.
For the first time ever, the G20 summit is being hosted on African soil. Solidarity, equality, sustainability, the continent at the center. And so we bring you the G20 Correspondence Desk on 702, brought by RMB and FNB, proud sponsors of this year's G20 summit. So we'll give you the latest news, views, insights, breakthroughs. The G20 Correspondence Desk on 702. Brought to you by RMB and FNB, divisions of First Rand Bank Limited, and authorized financial services and credit provider.
702.
Add your voice.
Have your say.
Let's walk the talk.
Good morning, Bongani team. I'd just like to wish my friend Noltando. She's writing matric starting today in her, I'll say, late 40s with utmost respect. And she took a very, very bold step. I did encourage her. And good luck, Noltando. All of the best. Andile and Brackendowns.
Oh, that's lovely. That's lovely. So I'm going to guess Andile Noltando is somebody who is a little bit older in life, who's decided to go back to matric and take this step. That's absolutely lovely. Oh, Andile, you've just made my day. Good luck, Nolutando. We're all rooting for you.
we must start looking at these guys' contracts, man. How they do their guys lie to you? All guys who got the most distinctions. No, when I get to review our contract, man. How do you guys? How do you guys mize our Bongani like that?
Start your day with Bongani Bingwa
on 702. Let's walk the talk.
Tell them. Today marks the start of the 2025 matric exams in Gauteng. So the first papers include CAT, or Computer Applications Technology, this morning, and then there'll be several language exams in the afternoon. You remember, of course, GP Province Gauteng recorded an 88.4% pass rate last year, and they say they are ready with over 1,000 exam centers and safety plans in place to prevent any disruptions. And so this morning we're asking you, do you have a nephew or a niece, a son or a daughter writing the matric exams today? What message of encouragement would you like to send them? In local news, the city of Johannesburg says it is going to target informal traders, and they'll soon pay between 50 and 100 Rand a month to rent public trading stalls, depending on the size and location. At a media briefing yesterday, the Mayor Dada Morero and city officials explained that these permits themselves are for free, but rental fees will help maintain fairness and order. They've also warned against leasing permits to undocumented traders, and they say this will create tensions and undermine the city's cleanup operations. Across the world, in California, on the other side of the world, shrapnel from a live artillery round hit two vehicles on the Interstate 5 on Saturday during the U.S. Marines' 250th anniversary celebrations. The vehicles were part of Vice President J.D. Vance's security detail. The shell detonated prematurely, and it rained metal fragments as if they were pebbles. No one, we are told, was hurt, but the patrol cars were dented. We'll get more details on that story from Adam Gilchrist. It must be something about vice presidents and their security detail. Hey? What is it about vice presidents and their security details? Back home, the trial of Hlabirwa Rasinkuna, accused of murdering Hillary Gadi, the daughter of the EFF Deputy President Godric Gadi, continues today at the Mbombela High Court in Mpumalanga. He's facing 12 charges, including murder, abduction, and is finalizing consultations with his lawyer. You may remember this story, of course, from 2022 when Hillary Gadi went missing at Nelspruit Plaza. It was an awful, awful story. She was later found in Kamagugu. And yeah, several days later, about 60 kilometers outside of Mbombela. On a lighter note, you heard from Africa Melane. Today we're celebrating the birthday of the American pop rapper Doja Cat, born Amala Ratna Zandile Dlamini. Right? How does she become American and Doja Cat if her name is Zandile Dlamini? Let me tell you. 21st of October 1995. This was the song of the lockdown for me. I had, let me do my calculations, 2020, I had an 11-year-old daughter. And this was the song that was playing. I'm talking level 5. That's how I got to know Doja Cat. Say So. Bold R&B, pop, rap, all blended together. Doja Cat's father, of course, is Dumisani Dlamini, a South African actor and dancer. You'll remember him for playing Crocodile in Sarafina and Chester in Yizo Yizo. So that's how she becomes Dlamini, although her mother is American, and obviously, whilst touring for Sarafina, Dumisani Dlamini made a few friends in America. Doja Cat is one of them. It's her birthday today. Have you been influenced by the young people in your life? What are you listening to as a result?
702.
The newspapers.
Swiso,
Good morning.
you've got nephews and nieces. What have they made you listen to that you like?
Not that I like, but they play a lot of Mapiano. I don't gravitate towards the genre I respected, but they play a lot of Mapiano. So whenever they're around, it's just always a Mapiano song playing in the background or on the phone. They're always doing a TikTok challenge, taking photos, playing a Mapiano song in the background. The latest
And you're
challenge.
that uncle.
Yeah.
Yes.
No,
Uncle
I'm
Wendaba.
serious. It's just I can't.
Uncle Wen News.
No.
All right, Uncle Wen News. Tell us what's in the news.
Oh my word. Today is a remarkable story from The Guardian. The UK Guardian is about how researchers and experts have come up with an electronic eye implant, half the thickness of a human hair, which is helping people with incurable sight loss to see again, opening up a
Wow.
potential of new era in tackling blindness. And it's in its trial stages, and about 38 elderly patients in the trial are regaining their ability to read numbers and read letters and words. It's remarkable. Absolutely remarkable. When you thought you can't see again, somebody comes
Yeah.
and gives you an out.
I wonder which is more emotional. Somebody who lost their eyesight and regains it, or somebody who's never been able to see in the first place and
Yeah.
gets that chance to be able to see for the first time. Yeah, it is just one of those things in life, and modern medicine is going to help to do some of that. The front page of the Sowetan Top Cop offered us envelopes. This is, of course, that special witness at the Madlanga inquiry. Cops versus cops, handcuffs out. Confusion reigned on Friday when Joburg Metro officers went to Beckersdal in the West Rand to recover a stolen vehicle believed to be linked to an illegal mining kingpin, but they were arrested by local police and spent the weekend in custody. What a story. The front page of the Business Day, that's the Citizen, by the way. The front page of the Business Day, review of South Africa car maker policy stalls. No consultant named, despite pleas for urgent action.
EWN Business.
Muteo says, look at your workload. Does it feel like you're doing the work of one or two or three people for one salary? What on earth would prompt such a question, Muteo?
Well, Bongani, the South African government saying a few of their employees are getting too much money for just one job. The South African government says it's embarking on a drive to root out ghost workers in the country's salary system. The Department of Public Service and Administration, together with the National Treasury and Auditor General, has launched a nationwide audit to clean out government payroll systems. So what they'll be essentially doing is going to every office, counting people physically, having them produce their IDs and also their identification on the PERSAL
I want to
system.
know if there is a KG start the clock.
Exactly. It's not just the ghost
Because
worker.
you hear about him, you never hear him.
So a ghost
Does
worker,
he exist?
he's right in front of me. So yeah, he's fine. A ghost worker is an employee listed on a company's payroll who does not actually work for the organization. This can be due to fictitious person created on the payroll or a real person such as a former employee whose name was not removed after termination. Now, ghost workers are costing the state billions of rands, with thousands of phantom employees drawing salaries in health, education, transport departments as well. The South African government spent an estimated 724 billion rand on public servant compensation, paying over 1.3 million public sector workers. In terms of GDP, the public sector wage bill consumes around 12 to 13% of GDP, and they're trying to make sure the money is going to the right place.
Where it's supposed to. All right, let's talk in rands and cents. What does that look like?
The rand at 17 rand 24 against the US dollar, in the green this morning at 20 rand 6 cents against the euro and 23 rand 7 cents against the British pound. Price of gold at $4,345 an ounce, while platinum is at $1,626. Brent crude at $60.88 a barrel. More business after 7.
Straight to the news desk we go. The city of Joburg is saying what, Sfisa Zulu?
Well, it's emphasizing, Bongani, that it is not opposed to informal traders, but it is against those conducting business without municipal approval. The Metro says it is intensifying its crackdown on informal trading, particularly targeting those operating without permits or outside designated areas. Speaking during a media briefing yesterday, Mayor Dada Morero said that the city will now focus on regulating the sector.
The operation focused on restoring safety of pedestrians and, of course, of vehicles, and maintaining building access and ensuring the proper functioning of essential infrastructure. These measures are critical to preserving a clean, safe and accessible inner city that benefits all the residents and businesses.
In the capital, Civic Movement Soil of Africa has called for transparency and accountability from the Tshwane Metro over what it says it is excessive and unsustainable use of water tankers. The organization says the Metro is spending millions of rands each year on tanker services, while thousands of residents in disadvantaged communities continue to live without fixed water and sanitation systems. The group has also highlighted municipal records showing that between July and December last year, the Metro spent approximately 300 million rand on water tanker operations alone. Civic Movement Soil of Africa Chairperson Bongani Bingwa.
The opposition has criticized a recent adjustment budget in which Tshwane increased its water tank allocation by over 240 million, while water infrastructure capital works remain backbent.
Ramoncha says their demand is that the funds be redirected into installing taps, pipelines and sanitation infrastructure.
That the municipality adopt a clear plan and timeline to phase out reliance on water tankers as a primary supply method and instead implement permanent infrastructure upgrades.
Cape Town Taxi Association Codeta says while it condemns the killing of a taxi owner from rival association Carter, the attack shouldn't be linked to route issues. The taxi boss was shot yesterday on the highway while traveling with his bodyguards, who were injured and taken to hospital. Ntutuzelo Nene reports.
Last month, Provincial Mobility MEC Isaac Seleku implemented a 30-day shutdown of taxi routes between Khayelitsha, Fuleni and Somerset West. The measures were put in place following deadly violence linked to a feud between Carter and Codeta over these routes. The routes have since been reopened, and Codeta spokesperson Makosandile Tumana says the issues with those routes have nothing to do with yesterday's shooting.
We condemn that killing, and we also want to express our condolences to the family of this young man and to the entire Carter region.
He's appealed to all the members of the industry to remain calm. Ndutuzelo Nene, Eyewitness News.
And Japan's parliament is set to elect ultra-conservative Sanae Taikachi as the country's first female prime minister today. Taikachi will replace Prime Minister Shigeru Ishiba, ending a 3-month political vacuum and wrangling since the Liberal Democratic Party's disastrous election loss in July. Ishiba, who lasted only 1 year in office, resigned with his cabinet following 2 major election losses, paving the way for his successor. A cloudy day in store for Gauteng, with showers expected in the afternoon. The temperatures are at lows of 9 and 12 degrees, peaking at highs between 20 and 24.
And in the traffic, there's been an accident in Centurion along the N14 North. It happened before Euphues Road. It's causing delays. And we've got a taxi stuck on the road. It's on the Mark 1 North, right near Car Street. It's causing delays out of Boysons Road. Please be on the lookout there.
The top story, Dada Morero says new plans are in place to improve informal traders in Johannesburg.
You can become a victim of a legal problem: wrongful arrest, assault, uncontested divorce, rental disputes, maintenance matters, or labor problems. It can happen to you. Clientele Legal provides tough professional lawyers for an affordable monthly premium. Our legal team is standing by to assist you 24 hours a day. Join today. SMS Legal to 48721. That's legal to 48721. Clientele General is an authorized FSP and licensed non-life insurer. T's and C's online. Standard rates apply.
Tani Esther, or should I say the Tupperware Tani? How's business going?
Business is booming. I've been operating out of the boot of my car for 10 years, but shame, it couldn't keep up with my growing empire.
Okay, so you sold it to We Buy Cars?
Yes, quick. Sold my old one, bought a bigger one. I even sold some of my Tupperware to the friendly guy who picked up my car.
Stick to what you know best, eh, Tony?
Excuse me?
Never mind. We Buy Cars. Geared for your business, geared for you.
702
WhatsApp Bongani on 072
702 1702.
Yo, Moteo's question should have come with a trigger warning. Yeah. I'm anonymous from Rhodoput and I work in the diplomatic space. Safe to say I'll probably do 3, 4, 5 jobs at times, depending on what's happening. I don't know how we even measure productivity anymore. I don't know how we measure success. I think at this rate, you're just mandated to work as much as possible. So, tricky times.
Good morning, Bongani. This is Theo from Etutuza. Yes, occupying a number of positions in the place of work, it's a norm. I'm also chairperson of certain committee. And so every time I actually have to speak or put the point across, I have to mention that I'm saying this as I'm occupying this position or wearing this hat. I have to distinguish between certain positions that I occupy in the space of work. And happy Tuesday. Thank you so much.
Happy Tuesday indeed. We're asking you if you have a nephew, a niece, somebody that you know who is writing matric. We're also asking you, do you ever feel as if you're doing the work of more than one person but getting one salary?
Morning, Bongani and team. This is Rachel. My 16-year-old daughter introduced me to K-pop, the group called BTS and Blackpink. Many times in the car, we'll be playing the songs and then she'll hear me going, Blackpink in the area, yay!
We're asking you, what are those songs, the young people, your kids, your nephews, your nieces, those artists you listen to because your kids introduced you to them?
Good morning, Bongani and team. I would like to dedicate this song to our 2025 matric class. It's called You Won't Fail by the OJs. Do all you can do and you'll always get what's coming to you. So just take your time and spread a little love. And I know you'll be blessed by the man above. And say, whoa.
EWN.
You won't fail. Okay, I won't continue.
And all the matrics are looking at you oldies going, what is this?
That's
of all the songs they could have phoned into the radio station to sing to us, they chose
that's what will get
random.
us to pass. Think again. All right, so talking then of new songs, is there a young artist you enjoy now because your kids have introduced you to them?
My kids are always introducing me to artists, whether I like them or not remains debatable. But I know I don't have to worry about listening to like Taylor Swift's new album because they will listen to the whole thing. They'll wait for it to drop. They like wait till like midnight, my youngest one, and then she'll say this one, and this one, and then she'll play it for me. And she's generally right
Pretty
about
good.
my taste of music. Yeah.
Okay, we're talking about Doja Cat's birthday today.
Oh, I'm not a fan of
That was my
Doja
lockdown
Cat.
artist.
Oh.
Say So. I couldn't escape it.
Really?
Because it was everywhere.
Yeah.
And I couldn't go anywhere to get away
Yeah.
from it. So that's the song I remember. But let's talk now. Matters far more pressing than Doja Cat's birthday. Pakistan, the Proteas in action.
Yes.
Remember how we joked about how we had to be clear whether it was the men or the women.
Yes.
Well,
And
here
today
we are.
really, really
Exactly.
do, right? Well done. So Pakistan men resumed day 2 of the second test on 259 for 5 with Shakil on 42 and Agan 10. Maharaj and Hamid took 2 wickets each. They were frustrated by the captain Shan Masood, who eventually fell for 87. The Proteas also didn't do themselves any favours, dropping 5 catches in the match so far. Here's Maharaj.
It was nice to see the guys bounce back and take the catches that they did. It was a bit frustrating, but no one means to drop catches at the end of the day. If you look at it, I think it was an even day. You know, we managed to control that run rate. I think when that ball gets softer, which it happens quite quickly because the wicket's quite hard, you know, we managed to just, you know, go to old-fashioned test cricket. I felt if we got one more wicket at night, we'd have probably had a little bit upper hand, but
Yesterday, England cruised to a 65-run win over New Zealand in the second T20. England posted 236 for 4 and then had the Black Caps all out for 171. Player of the match, Harry Brook, made 78. Proteas women take on Pakistan at the Cricket World Cup today. South Africa has already qualified for the semi-final. Yesterday, Sri Lanka beat Bangladesh by 7 runs, ending Bangladesh's slim hopes of making the semi-final. In the English Premier League last night, Brentford got a first away win of the season. They beat West Ham 2-0 with goals from Thiago and Jensen, while British media reporting that Sean Deutsch has verbally agreed to be Nottingham Forest's new manager following the sacking of Ange Postecoglou. Springbok coach Rassie Erasmus named his 36-man squad for the upcoming end-of-year tour. Zachary Porton is the only uncapped player in a squad that sees Erasmus testing the youngsters. Hooker, Moody, Feinberg and Ngomazulu and Henrik Wessels are 24 years or younger. There's 10 players on standby, including former under-20 player of the tournament, Gianno Augustus. The veterans, Bongi Mbonambi and Makazola Mapimpi. Not on standby and missing the cut altogether, Willie Leroux, Faf de Klerk and Vincent Koch. And Ireland, who are gearing up to play the All Blacks on November the 1st in Chicago, won't have wing Mac Hansen. He injured his foot playing for Connacht against the Bulls. Cindy Paluta, Eyewitness News Sport.
So you thought you were building a business in this economy, but day by day, somehow it grew. You kept going when the freezer didn't freeze, the bucket didn't budge, and the bank balance barely blinked. So you thought you were building a business. You weren't. It was building you. Because this isn't just what you do anymore. It's who you are. And you don't trust just anybody to protect it. Chat to your broker about Old Mutual Insure Business Insurance. Protect what built you. Old Mutual Insure Limited is a licensed FSP and non-life insurer.
Mzansi Powerball just got bigger and the stakes even higher with a mind-blowing 160 million rand. That's the estimated jackpot this Tuesday. Play Powerball for an estimated 160 M, baby. You could win one of the highest recorded jackpots in the country. Buy your tickets now in store on nationallottery.co.za, the mobile app, cell phone banking, or simply dial *120 *7529 hash for USSD. Panda, push up, play. Players must be 18 years or older. Play responsibly. Ituba is the proud operator of the National Lottery.
The brainy kids of the Whiz Quiz
on 702.
Hello, Uncle Bongani. My name is Tyler. I'm 12 years old. I go to Linwood Ridge Primary School, and I wanted to play the Whiz Quiz so I can get me clothes.
I like that. I just want clothes. All right, let's see if you can win 10,000 rand.
To celebrate 25 years of helping you live the Premier life, FNB Premier is giving you a chance to win a 14-day European tour experience and other cool monthly prizes. Open any FNB Premier account from September to 31 December 2025. Switch your salary, swipe or tap a minimum of 2,000 Rand per month for 3 months straight. Spend and win with FNB Premier. FNB, help changes everything. TCs and competition rules apply. FNB, a division of First Rand Bank Limited, an authorized financial services and credit provider.
To sell or not to sell, that is the question. Whether selling a car, bike, boat or bakkie, WeBuyCars offers instant payment and a stress-free experience. Simply complete the form on webuycars.co.za for the best offer. Trading in or shopping for your next ride? Explore 12,000 vehicles online or visit WeBuyCars in store. Whether buying or selling, head to WeBuyCars today.
Medical care, like music, needs continuity, a steady rhythm and pattern. Patients attended to on time, medication taken as prescribed. Cut the rhythm and it falls apart. Right now, global funding cuts are restricting access to healthcare. With your support, Doctors Without Borders can continue to provide medical care to communities worldwide. Because medicine, like music, only works when uninterrupted. Doctors Without Borders, we go there.
People are talking, everybody's talking. They're saying it's time to make insurance great again. They said our low premiums were fake news. Wrong. We're putting customers first. We're gonna drain the insurance swamp. It's full of hidden fees. But when we clean it up, believe me, it's gonna be huge.
This message has absolutely nothing to do with the US government. It's paid for by the King of Insurance, who's making insurance great again. Get a quote now. It'll be the best decision, people are saying, ever. King Price is a licensed FSP. No fake news, just lacquer insurance.
702.
Coming up at 7:15, the big interview.
EWN Traffic.
Already a busy morning. Let's catch up with the roads at 13 minutes before 7 o'clock. some of the kids, of course, returning to the schools, the 3-term schools. I think that crash on the N14 North. A bad one, Amo?
It is a horrible one, Bongani. This is in the Centurion area. It's causing about a 20-minute hold up approaching Euphues Road. If you can, please try to avoid the scene. You can still use the N1 North and then turn off at the R21 to head towards the Pretoria CBD. Otherwise, you can use the R55 Old Johannesburg Road as an alternative as well. If you are traveling on the Mike1 North, we still have got that taxi stuck on the road. It's right near Car Street. It's causing heavy traffic volumes coming out of Boyson's Road, as well as added peak time delays along this route. So please be patient. Then traveling on the M2 West, delays between Harderberg Road and the Crown Interchange. Peak time delays there. I'll have more updates for you. Stay tuned.
There's more EWN on air, online, and on the EWN app.
What you're hearing isn't a traffic accident. It's not panic braking. It's our amazing car-stopping 40th birthday deals. For a limited time only, Auto & General is offering great savings with our 40th birthday Ruby deals. Celebrate with us by visiting autogen.co.za for great personal and business car insurance savings. Auto & General, never not there. Auto & General is a licensed non-life insurer and FSP. T's and C's online. Offer available for a limited time only.
Oh, dreamers. They love to watch the dice roll, chasing that rush, that one big win. But then there's a different kind of player. Those who rely on strategy and not chance, who know that winning is earned. Those people play with SportPesa. SportPesa, make it count. SportPesa is licensed by the Western Cape Gambling and Racing Board. No person under the age of 18 permitted to gamble. National Responsible Gambling Program toll-free counseling line 0800 006 008 or WhatsApp help to 076 650 710. Winners know when to stop.
Naked people run faster, because naked people spend less time on insurance admin and more time working on their personal bests. Go to naked.insure now, get a car insurance quote in 90 seconds, and get naked. Naked Financial Technology is an authorized FSP.
Join us.
Let's walk the talk.
This is 702.
Morning, Bongani. Good morning, 702 land. I just wanted to wish all the matriculants that are sitting down for the paper today to go through with humility, to go through with wisdom. May everything that they have studied come to pass when they write those papers. I want to send a special dedication to my nieces, Uzuko Tutu, Nolitabo Murabedi. I want to say Auntie loves you guys, and I wish you nothing but the best. Go get them, my children. Thank you so much, Feziwe Albertine.
Who is the whizziest of them all?
It's the Whiz Quiz on 702.
Up next, we look at that Amazon Web Services outage around the world yesterday. We'll speak to Toby Shapshak about that. In the meantime, Tyler wants to be an engineer when he is a little older. Isn't it amazing how many of the entrants want to be engineers, Amo?
It is.
There's something special about that. Tyler in Pretoria, 12 years old. Tyler, are you ready to play?
Yes, I am.
Yes, I am, is the confident answer. Well, let's not keep you waiting. KG, start the clock. Spell the word poverty.
Pause.
What is 9 times 9?
Pause.
Which one of South Africa's 3 national capitals is the oldest? Is it Cape Town, Pretoria, or Bloemfontein?
Cape Town.
Correct. Which word is a verb? Claw or closely?
Claw.
Correct. True or false? The Horn of Africa is on the west coast of Africa.
True.
That's false. Complete the saying, you can't teach an old what new tricks?
Pause.
Dog. Which planet is between Earth and Jupiter? Is it Mars or is it Pluto?
Mars.
Correct. In cartoons, what is the name of the friendly ghost? Is it Tom or Casper?
Casper.
Correct. What sport is played with a puck? Hockey or baseball?
Hockey.
Hockey is indeed the correct answer, and I think we'll give you that one. A bit of a rough one there for you, Tyler. The maths one, future engineer. But it can be nerves. It can be just nerves. So not to worry about it. You're only 12 years old. You could get a chance next year if you want to come back. Because to play the Whiz Quiz, you must be aged 10 to 13. And today, Tyler walks away with 500 Rand.
The brainy kids of the Whiz Quiz.
On 702.
Coming up in the next hour, what's the question? And it's brought to you by Outsurance. 3,000 Rand in cash is up for grabs. So we split it into two. First, $1,000 for the answer. Send us an answer based on anything you heard on the show. WhatsApp us your name and the answer to 072 702 1702. Then, for 2,000 Rand, someone else will ask a question to get to that answer. Now, you always stand a better chance of being selected if you've SMS'd out to Outsurance and got yourself a quote. So what are you waiting for? SMS out to 45142 and you could save on your car insurance.
Current events, developing stories,
Tough questions.
your voice making a difference.
This is Breakfast with Bongani Bingwa.
We cannot live without access to the internet, can we? And when something goes wrong, you get so frustrated, especially when you can't explain it in the beginning at least. Amazon Web Services, which is, of course, Amazon's cloud platform, had a major outage yesterday, disrupting access to some of the world's most popular apps and websites around the world. Millions of users were affected. Snapchat, Roblox, although those two are fine because the people who use them should have been at school anyway, if you know what I mean. Zoom, Amazon Prime, I think even Standard Bank may have been affected. And the issue wasn't caused by users' own internet connections, but problems within Amazon's web services itself. To help us understand all of this and what it means and what to do, I suppose, when one is in that kind of situation, we've invited our good friend, tech journalist Toby Shapshak to explain. Toby, always a pleasure to chat to you. In simple terms, what happened yesterday?
How about this? The internet broke.
Right, we've heard that phrase before. Yeah.
Firstly, good morning, Bongani. So what happens is we now rely on a few service providers to do these kinds of things for us. And because they are single points of failure is the phrase that everyone's using, if Amazon Web Services, which is the largest cloud service provider in the world, has a problem, the impact is massive. You know, Standard Bank proudly announced a few years ago, and I thought it was a great idea, that they were shifting from mainframe or whatever old legacy computers to being based in the cloud, and it was a big deal for Amazon Web Services. This is a really big name customer. But when things go wrong, as we saw, things go wrong, and there's literally nothing you can do about it, to answer your question. If Gmail goes down or Google goes down, you can't do anything about it because it's down. So that's the problem. And if we look at it, Bongani, the major companies that provide cloud infrastructure are Amazon in order of size and revenue, Amazon, Microsoft, and then a whole bunch of other people provide these services. So you've got maybe 4 or 5 big players. If anything goes wrong with one of them, the outages are significant. And it doesn't necessarily just have to be one of these big cloud service providers. Microsoft last year had a massive outage with a small company no one had ever heard of before, with the unfortunate name of CrowdStrike, because they really did strike the crowd, didn't they?
Well, I've heard a new name, DynamoDB, right? We understand they may have been the source of the issue. And I suppose people want to understand how one data center can have an issue that can lead to worldwide impact.
It's the interconnectedness of everything now, isn't it? So I've obviously read much more detail into it to try and understand it, to be able to answer your questions. I'd also never heard of DynamoDB until yesterday. DB is usually a abbreviation for database. And in this instance, this is a database that stores people's credentials and data and logon details, that kind of thing. And there was one, Amazon's original server farm data center in Virginia in America had some kind of issue, and this caused an interconnected issue with a whole bunch of other people, other servers. And I think in total, Bongani was only down for about 2 hours. But the impact was massive and huge. You know, for us, it was the middle of the night in America, so it was in South Africa's morning time. So it wouldn't have had as much an impact, I think, in the American economy. But, you know, the second there's an outage, you know, to use a terrible phrase, it blows up all over everybody. I kept getting WhatsApp messages. Is anything wrong? I don't use social media. But I don't see that. But
sure,
we certainly get a lot of messages at stuff immediately.
Toby, I mean, I made the joke earlier that, well, we could perhaps forgive Snapchat, right, and Roblox because most of their users should have been in school anyway. But on a far more serious note...
I heard that. That was a very good joke, I just want to say.
But on a very serious note, I mean, can businesses prepare for this kind of downtime? And how much does an outage like this expose, shall we say, a risky over-reliance on a few tech giants for all of us or the rest of us?
I mean, let's start with your last question first. It just shows you how fragile the whole system is. One small mistake with one software program, DynamoDB, in one server, in one data center, and the next thing, it's the real someone sneezes and the world catches a cold. Really, it was this DynamoDB had a hay fever attack, and look at the impact on the rest of the planet. This is the butterfly effect in computer terms, in server terms, and it's quite remarkable how it brings us down. And there really is nothing you can do about it until that someone turns the switch back on at the data center side. There's nothing any of us can do. And it's interesting because, there are a couple of journalists in the States a few years ago who tried to live without cloud services, without Amazon, without Google, and they tried all of that. And it's next to impossible because if you use Dropbox is a customer of AWS, Amazon Web Services. So you're using it whether you know it or not. If I used to talk to people, I'd say to them, who's AWS and Azure? That's Microsoft's business. And they had no idea. And then I'd list the customer-facing services on those platforms. So, you may not use AWS directly, but you use Snap or you use Roblox.
Yeah.
And that is the world we live in, Bongani. And it is as scary as it sounds, or Zoom.
Yeah.
It is as scary as it sounds. If your business relies on Zoom to make calls and services and sales meetings and all of the things people do with that video platform, and all of a sudden it's down for 2 hours, that's a loss for your business. But you calculate that across everybody's business and how many government departments couldn't function, and the losses are huge. And this is, we're going to have this is going to be an annual conversation, Bongani. I'd much rather talk to you about how to save young men in South Africa and give them a sense of hope. But services has got to be.
Hey, listen, we can arrange that conversation too, but hopefully not over Zoom, hey?
No, not over Zoom.
Yet one more reason to give those bosses who want everyone to come back to the office to do so. Appreciate your time as always. Toby Shapchak there, tech journalist.
702.
Coming up, the big interview.
The big interview focuses on the DA and its onslaught against BEE. Is it justified, or could it lose them people who are perhaps considering the Blue Party? We'll also speak to the journalist Erica Gibson about this army truck and over 1,000-kilometer joyride just to go and clean up a general's yard. That to come.
This is EWN.
The Madlanga Commission hears about risks involved in some police investigations, and France's former president will start jail time in Paris today. Good morning, I'm Sfiso Zulu. A police officer has told the Madlanga Commission of Inquiry about a high-risk investigation into the murder of Vereniging engineer Armand Swart. Swart was killed outside the premises of his company Q-Tech in Vereniging last year after it flagged gross misconduct in relation to price inflation over a Transnet freight rail tender. Witness A testified in private before the Madlanga Commission yesterday. He told the inquiry that 3 people, including a police officer, were arrested for the murder hours after Swart was killed.
It was not safe to drive to our places. It was not safe to even go to the office because now the police were also involved in this.
He says a threat risk assessment was conducted on members of the investigating team by Crime Intelligence.
The threat risk assessment had been conducted and it was classified as high risk, which in other words meant that our lives were extremely in danger.
And shortly after, witness A says the team was assigned 24 hours police protection.
When I opened the window, I saw 5 marked police vehicles with the sirens and blue lights on. And then when I went to them, they told that they were being tasked to come give protection to me overnight. It was actually the start of a 24-hour protection.
More police officers are expected to continue with testimony at the Madlanga Commission in camera. Prosecutors arguing against the release of alleged crime boss Vusi Matlala say he faces a total of 11 attempted murder charges for several hits he ordered. Matlala has approached the Johannesburg High Court to appeal the decision by the Magistrates Court to deny him bail. He is accused of being the mastermind behind a botched hit on his ex-girlfriend Tebogo Khaas in 2023. Khomotso Modise reports.
Vusi Cat Matlala's bail application is related to the 2023 hit on actress and socialite Tebogo Khaas, which left her friend paralyzed and resulted in Khaas fleeing abroad. But prosecutors have made the court aware of all the other similar charges that Matlala faces.
It's 5 in the Sibanjoni matter. It's 3 in the DJ Vetti's matter. So that's 8 counts of attempted murder, plus the 3 year. It's 11 counts of attempted murder.
They've argued that Matlala clearly has no regard for the law after he was found with a cell phone in his prison cell while incarcerated at the Kgosimampuru prison. Matlala will have to wait for a few days as Judge Pete du Plessis promised to hand down a verdict by Friday or Monday. Khomotso Modise, Eyewitness News at the Johannesburg High Court.
Basic Education Minister Siviwe Gwachube says research has revealed that low-quality foundational numeracy and literacy skills are the main contributing factors to school dropouts. Gwachube says the department is actively dealing with the issue through interventions to ensure pupils complete their schooling careers. The minister was speaking at a briefing in Mpumalanga yesterday, saying the interventions have resulted in change because for the first time since 1996, the country has seen the highest number of registered learners for public exams. Jabulile Mbata reports.
With exams beginning today, Basic Education Minister Siviwe Gwachube says learners received support when it came to specific subjects they were struggling with. Gwachube says if the learning foundation phase is done right, the less people will repeat grades and ultimately the dropout rate will decrease. She says the class of 2025 has proven that the department's interventions are yielding positive change.
Their early high school years were marked by rotational timetables, reduced contact time, incomplete coverage of the grade 8 curriculum, and many had to overcome learning losses.
She says the interventions were also aimed at getting each school to obtain a high matric pass rate. Jabulile Mbata, Eyewitness News, Mpumalanga.
The ANC has rejected the DA's proposed public procurement amendment bill, which seeks to replace broad-based black economic empowerment. The DA unveiled the bill yesterday, saying triple BEE has only benefited a few connected people and must be replaced with a new empowerment policy. The BEE Act was signed into law in 2003 with the aim of addressing the country's racial economic inequalities. ANC National Spokesperson Mahlengu Bengu says that the party will not be supporting its GNU partner on their new bill.
Any other platform where dialogue must take place, the ANC is always willing to engage. All I can stress, though, that there will not be a day in South Africa where BEE is scrapped as a legislation. Where there are amendments, I'm certain that, like any other piece of legislation, amendments are acceptable for as long as they do not deviate from the substance of that piece of legislation.
Meanwhile, the DA's head of policy, Matthew Cuthbert, said it will be in the interest of all GNU partners to support its bill.
There is definitely some realization, I think, even within the ANC itself, that the way in which transformation policy has been implemented in this country over the last 20 or so years has failed to attract the kind of investment into the key sectors that we need in order to be able to grow the economy and create jobs.
And France's former President Nicolas Sarkozy will be jailed today after being found guilty of acquiring Libyan funding for his 2007 presidential run. France's right-wing leader from 2007 to 2012 was handed a 5-year jail term last month for criminal conspiracy over a plan for late Libyan dictator Muammar Gaddafi to fund his electoral campaign. The 70-year-old, who has appealed the the verdict and denounced an injustice is to be incarcerated in prison in Paris. Sarkozy's family has called for supporters to show solidarity with the former head of state as he leaves his Paris home for prison today. Gold is trading at $4,347.29 an ounce. The rand is at 17.23 to the dollar, 23.07 to the pound, 20.05 to the euro. Brent crude oil is at $60.83 a barrel.
And in the traffic in Tembisa, we've got a major accident scene. This one is along the R25, right near Link Road. So this route is right between Tembisa and Kempton Park. So if you're traveling within the two areas, please be on the lookout there and try to avoid. You can still use the R21 if you're heading to either the Kempton Park or Tembisa area.
And in your sport, Pakistan 259 for 5 on day 2 of the second set with South Africa on the go. Proteas women take on Pakistan at the Cricket World Cup. That starts at 11:30. West Ham stay in the relegation zone after losing 2-0 at home to Brentford.
A cloudy day in store for Gauteng with isolated afternoon showers and thunder showers expected. The temperatures will peak at highs between 20 and 24 degrees. The top story in EWN this hour. A police officer has told the Madlanga Commission of Inquiry about a high-risk investigation into the murder of Vereniging engineer Armand Swart.
EWN, in touch, in tune, and independent. For the latest, visit ewn.co.za or download the EWN app.
This is Breakfast with Bongani Bingwa
On 702.
Let's walk the talk.
Gosh, 7:09, so much in the news at the moment. That investigator speaking in camera to the Madlanga Commission of Inquiry about just what it takes to undertake these high-risk investigations. You remember, of course, the murder of Armand Swart, who was shot outside his workplace. I mean, they really, really wanted to make sure this guy died. I want you to listen now to yesterday's other matter, where the state prosecutor, Advocate Elise Leroux, was revealing evidence that shows that Kat Matlala indeed, according to her, set up a trust entity in Mauritius and suggested that attempts to conceal assets and financial dealings mean he may well be a flight risk. This, of course, was in that bail application. Leroux reinforcing the state's claim that the applicant cannot be trusted.
In a subsequent supplementary affidavit, it was indicated that there was, in fact, evidence of a trust entity established in Mauritius where the appellant has an interest in it. So what does the appellant then do when the bail application eventually proceeded? My lord, he then suddenly discloses that fact, which he did not do in his initial affidavit. And it was only upon the fact that he was, I will use the words, caught out, that he's got an interest in a trust entity in Mauritius. It was only then that he disclosed that fact to the court a quo. The importance of this is it shows that the appellant now, has continuously been not forthcoming to the court a quo. He cannot be trusted in his oath that he took in his bail affidavit. Because clearly, let me put it like this, he is not inclined to be honest to the court.
Amoramila, what do you do when you are asked a question, the answer to which you're expected to know, and your mind draws a blank?
Do you care to explain what you mean?
So you know,
that's exactly how I would respond.
Is that what you would say?
I would respond like that.
For the matric exam learners today, they won't get that chance to say, do you care? To explain what you mean. Shame. I want you to listen to the leader, or one of the leaders of Operation Dudula, Zandile Dabula. A video of her has gone viral. She was interviewed on television, and presumably what the presenter was trying to do there was to try and understand how much she knows of the role played by the frontline states during the struggle of apartheid to help those who were leaving the country, going into exile, trying to get support from other African countries, some of whom got bombed, by the way, for their troubles by the apartheid state. And I think that's the point he was trying to make. You want to kick these people out who helped us during the struggle. So listen to the question and listen to the answer.
Mr. Buller, let me just ask an open-ended question. If I say frontline states, what comes to mind and what can you say in relation to that?
So now this is about the people. We have this Freedom Charter where Operation Dudula is entrenching the Freedom Charter that says people shall govern. And, currently we don't have leaders. We are on autopilots. And that's where Operation Dudula comes in.
No, I'm asking about frontline states.
Frontline states. So this is about, are you now taking this together with...
if I say to you frontline states, from a historical perspective, what comes to mind as we have this conversation?
The frontline states, I would believe it's about, the people in power.
Poor thing. She absolutely had no idea what she was being asked about. And of course, the relevance of it is that if you're going to be playing in the political space, you at least need to know your history. I mean, I think that's what it was all about, right? The frontline states were, of course, initiated as part of that whole Cold War effort, but also as part of fighting the liberation struggle for South Africa to become free. These were states that got involved in conflicts. There were many conflicts around the continent insofar as that particular matter was concerned. And so Angola, Botswana, Mozambique, Namibia, South Africa, Tanzania, Zambia, Zimbabwe, that was all part of what we meant when we referred to the frontline states. And this person who wants to free South Africa now had no idea.
This is Breakfast with Bongani Bingwa
on 702.
Let's walk the talk.
EWN Traffic.
14 after 7, this Eyewitness News traffic is brought to you by Outsurance. SMS out to 45142. You could save on your car insurance if you don't ask them for 500 Rand. Amo?
Well, Bongani, we've got delays in Tembisa as well as the Kempton Park area. The route Link Road and the R25 heavily backed up. If you are traveling along this route, you might want to try and use the R21 towards areas like Pretoria as well as Kempton Park. While traveling in the south of Joburg, particularly Devland, we've got that accident reported on the Golden Highway. It's right near the Union Avenue exit. It is causing delays. Please be on the lookout there. I'll have more updates coming up. Stay tuned.
There's more EWN on air, online, and on the EWN app.
Clever late excuse number 90. You were hunting for your child's missing hamster. That one isn't always a stretch, but I don't know if you get believed nonetheless. But fortunately, it doesn't matter. With the Outsurance Pointsman on the roads, you don't have to come up with creative excuses for being late. The Outsurance Pointsman will ease traffic congestion to get you there quickly and safely, and they've been doing so since 2005. Outsurance really means it when they say you always get something out. In proud partnership with 702. Show them some love online. Use hashtag PointsmanLove. Outsurance is a licensed insurer and FSP.
Connectivity is where it all starts, but it's only the beginning. From AI to cloud to cybersecurity and IoT, Vodacom Business offers so much more, powering South Africa's boldest organizations. Always connected, always protected, always moving forward. Named South Africa's most trusted enterprise telecommunications provider 2 years running. Search Vodacom Business. Together, let's build the extraordinary. Vodacom Business. Further together.
Corporates That Care promotes and encourages corporate leaders and all citizens to walk the talk for a better South Africa. Catch it this Wednesday at 10 to 9. We're speaking to Pick n Pay's Group CEO, Sean Summers. We do this on Wednesdays to highlight efforts of companies and brands dedicated to building our country. Corporates That Care is a Prime Media Cares initiative with 702 and Prime Media Outdoor. 702, let's walk the talk and together make a difference.
Imagine if you could save time like you save money. A second here, a minute there. Type a little faster, walk a little faster. Or you could stop scrolling on the internet. Just think of all the hours you'll save. Now what if you could take all that time and invest it? Watch it grow. Until eventually, one day, you'd have so much time that you wouldn't know what to do with it all. But unfortunately, time doesn't work like that. It can't be stored or banked. And unlike money, you can't make it back. That's why after 50 years of investing, we've learned that time is the greatest gift of all. And the good news is, if you invest early, time gives you money. And then money gives you more time to do whatever you want to do, even if it is scrolling on the internet. Ellen Gray, long-term investing. Ellen Gray is an authorized FSP.
This week, 702 is in conversation with Gregory McLennan, the CEO of DG Cloud Africa, Africa's cloud first and leading value-added cloud distributor. They will touch on DigiCloud Africa's appointment as a Google distribution partner, as well as cybersecurity and how DigiCloud Africa can help African businesses address any modern threats. Don't miss In Conversation with DigiCloud on 702 Drive with John Pullman.
702.
The Big Interview
with Bongani Bingwa.
18 minutes after 7 o'clock. I mentioned a little earlier on that I think there was a particular moment when the DA announced Helen Zille as its mayoral candidate for Johannesburg in next year's local government elections. Johannesburg possibly has the highest concentration of the beneficiaries of broad-based black economic empowerment, and that city is up for grabs because various incarnations of ANC leaders have run it to the ground. So hurtful are voters who perhaps don't even like Zille or agree with her politics, but nonetheless welcome her candidacy. But now her party, the Democratic Alliance, is going after that very policy, BEE, and they're saying it's only enriched a few. Is this a mistake, or are there alternative proposals worth some consideration? I've got the Chairperson of Public Interest South Africa, Tebogo Khaas, joining us on the line. Tebogo, always a pleasure to have you on the show. Good morning, and thank you for your time.
Good morning, and thanks, and same to you as well, Bongani.
You would have, of course, had a look at the DA's Economic Inclusion for All bill, and they're saying this is a credible alternative to the current BEE policies. Is that a fair argument? Does it effectively address the imbalances of the past and deal with the issues that are sometimes a challenge when it comes to how BEE is implemented?
I don't think so, Bongani. Well, quite honestly, at first glance, it seems more like a trickle-down economy type of approach to transformation, whereupon it is hoped that by not making sure that you get targeted intervention, which is deliberate, you would be able to improve the lot of those who've been denied opportunities over the years. Before I even proceed, I would like to accept one thing that the DA is saying. The assertion that BEE has failed, to a great extent, that could be true, because certainly we know that it has never really yielded the desired outcomes to the extent that it should. And in fact, yes, there's been a rise of few individuals who become wealthy out of BEE without really adding value to the economy. I mean, I have to give you some of the transactions. If you remember, the SBC or SBC, the one that Telkom did, and then with Elephant Consortium, you ask yourself, what did the Elephant Consortium do, or what became of the Elephant Consortium? Are they still a player in the ICT sector? No, they are not. But a few individuals got rich; those who didn't struggle
walked
to
away
be
with
poor.
millions, right? Yeah.
Yes.
Yes,
I mean, they
course.
even told us in our face that they struggle to be poor.
Jolting our sorry, I've got to come in there. Jolting our memories there with the words of Smuts and Ngonyama all those years ago. And one of the things we saw even during the pandemic is this idea that so many of these BEE partners, essentially even in procurement, can just be middlemen, in the sense that they're not the manufacturers of products that may be procured, but because of the racial composition, they get those deals for very little innovation or contribution.
Aha. And that is precisely why mostly people find resentment in BEE, and both black and white. And it is not so much that it was not intended to do good, but how it was applied or has been applied. It says that you found that it doesn't yield the desired outcomes, whether it's poverty alleviation or reducing unemployment. I would also have to remind you of ASGISA. You remember ASGISA, Accelerated and Shared Growth Initiative for South Africa?
Yes, indeed, under the Mbeki years. Yes, of course.
Exactly. And we don't seem to, as South Africans, have and stick to long-term plans that we set for the economy or for the country as a whole to address the socio-economic ills. Instead, what we do is we come with a new rule or a new legislation and do away with that, hoping that there'll be a magic word of a legislation.
All right. I mean, we've heard from people like Professor William Gumede, for example, who says this has cost, R1 trillion that has moved into the hands of very few people since 1994. So if all of this and what you've just said is the case against BEE, or triple BEE to be more accurate, what's wrong with what the DA is proposing?
What is wrong is that don't change something or don't introduce new things. In other words, look at what is currently implemented and see where are the gaps, where are the weaknesses, and address those weaknesses and change them. If it means that you must change certain aspect of BE, by all means, go ahead and do that. But to introduce something new, as if it would be a magic wand. Remember, even as GISA itself, it could have succeeded, but there are factors that made it difficult to even succeed.
But the DA might argue, if I can come in there and say, hang on, this is nothing new. We are couching development and transformation around the Sustainable Development Goals. That's a UN initiative accepted and, more importantly, understood by investors and people from around the world.
Yeah, see, the problem is the DA can say what it wants, but it has an example of where it operates. Let's take the Western Cape itself. You tell me if you see any transformation where you find that black entrepreneurs or black individuals make it in the Western Cape economy. Not at all, not a chance. It still remains as lily white as can be. Nothing really changed.
Isn't that one of the things that perhaps is misunderstood about triple BEE, that whilst of course there are deals around tenders and procurement, there's also a matter of who gets to be employed, who gets to lead organizations, who gets to be in management. And that's why I started this conversation by saying perhaps the largest concentration of the beneficiaries of triple BEE live in Johannesburg, and those are the voters that the DA perhaps might alienate with this.
Absolutely. And look, we want to believe that the DA means well, but certainly, coming up with a new... How many policies have we tried since 1994? There's been a plethora of policies that seek to intervene to alleviate poverty and all that, or to even include more black people in the mainstream of the economy. Not very much, so I'll just going to pile on more and more policy without really taking stock of what's already in place and say what is it that needs to be done to make sure that it works, and not works for a few, but it works for everybody else.
Right. Tebogo, we're going to have to leave it there. We're going to have to leave it there, I'm afraid. We've run out of time. But I think we've got the gist of what you have to say. Tebogo Khaas there, the chairperson of the organization called Public Interest South Africa.
702.
The Big Interview
with Bongani Bingwa.
Every now and again, you come across a story that you want to really rub your eyes as you read. Let me tell you about one Major General Edward Mulawudzi. He had a problem. What was it? His neighbors were complaining that the tree stumps of his property had become an eyesore, and they needed him to remove them. Fair enough. What did the Major General do of the South African National Defence Force? He ordered an SANDF crane truck to drive over 1,200 kilometers all the way from Oudtshoorn to Pretoria just to remove 2 tree stumps from his yard. What should have been, I don't know if I'm kind, a municipal job or indeed a private job, because this was his property, instead turned to a long-distance military operation. And it raises serious questions about the abuse of state resources and accountability in the Defence Force. The person who told that story is the senior investigative reporter at the City Press, Erica Gibson, who joins us now. Erica, this sounds like something out of, a farce. Not even a comedy. Good morning.
Good morning, Bongani. Yeah, it is indeed a bit of a farce. Just a correction there. It wasn't his property. It is one of the general's houses that are rented for the generals of the Defence Force to live in. So it's
he's got personal use of the property, but it isn't
by the
his.
military. Yeah.
So he's got personal use of the property, but
Yeah.
it isn't actually his.
Yeah.
Thank you for that correction. How did
and
you
as
first?
such, yeah.
Thank you for that correction. How did you first pick this up?
Well, I continually write about what is wrong in the Defence Force, why the Defence Force is chronically without money, why it chronically needs more money, and why it continues to misspend on fruitless expenditure.
Couldn't he
which
argue?
has been
Erica, couldn't he argue that, hang
Yeah.
on, as you say, this was actually military property, so it's up to the army to fix it?
Yes, true, but the Defence Force doesn't only have one truck. There are different units in the Pretoria region who have a variety of similar crane trucks to do the same. There isn't only one, which was actually in Oudtshoorn to do official tasks. It was busy with military work. That's why it was in Oudtshoorn. It just arrived in Oudtshoorn to start its tasking there. And then the driver was told to turn around and come back all the way because these tree stumps needed to be removed. Now, they are different options. I mean, surely you look at the if it was your property, you look at what is your most affordable option at the time. But apparently that wasn't the case here. That was one of their units.
What explanation has the army given?
Well, a very meek one, except that the Defence Force is also responsible for the upkeep of these properties, and as such, it had to comply, but it wouldn't explain whether that was the only option that they, or the most affordable option that they could find at the moment at that time.
All right, Erica Gibson, we'll have to leave it there, but I thought it was an extraordinary story that you'd have this crane truck go all the way to the Western Cape, and as it arrives, you make it turn right back to come and remove tree stumps in Pretoria. At the very least, one would have thought it could have done so when it had done whatever it needed to do in Oudtshoorn, if indeed it was army resources that had to be used. And when you consider that there are so many of our troops who are in tattered uniforms and boots that don't match, it really is a concern, is it not?
EWN Business.
This business report is proudly sponsored by GIC. Through infrastructure-related projects, GIC sets a better standard of living. GIC, changing lives. All right, Muteo, let's get up with business news now. A Dubai-based fintech firm to list on the JSE. Which one is this?
It's called Optasia, Bongani. It's aiming to shake the tables in South Africa's fintech industry by listing on the local bourse. Optasia has announced the offer price range for the initial public offering at between 15 Rand 50 and 19 Rand per share. Up to 420 million shares will be made available, representing 30% of its issued share capital. Now, Optasia uses modern technology to verify and provide customers with microloans. Fin24 says the listing could value the firm at around 26 billion Rand, higher than the valuation of Pick n Pay and We Buy Cars. Now, the final pricing will be determined after the book build based on demand on the market.
Coronation expecting weaker results.
Yeah, JSE listed Coronation says it expects earnings for the year ended in September to be between 20 and 30% lower than the previous year. The asset manager noted that earnings per share and headline earnings per share for the prior period had been higher due to the once-off impact of the successful case that it had against SARS in November of 2024. Coronation won its long-running legal dispute with SARS, the Constitutional Court ordering SARS to pay Coronation's legal costs, as well as leaving its 800 million rand, which it also claimed as earnings in 2024.
Your indicators?
Rand at 17 Rand 23 against the US dollar, 20 Rand 5 cents against the euro, and 23 Rand 7 cents against the British pound. The price of gold at $4,336 an ounce, while platinum is down 0.5% at $1,623. Brent crude at $60.91 a barrel. More business after 8.
Change requires skill, an agile body to fill the gaps. But real change moves collaboratively, progressively, enabling, because it knows what to do and how to improve the lives of the deserving. Through infrastructure-related projects, GIC actively brings change for the better, because real change sets a standard of living, of being. GIC, changing lives.
Time now for your latest Eyewitness News, brought to you by Outsurance. SMS out to 45142 and you could save on your car insurance. If you don't, ask them for 500 Rand. Good morning again, Sfiso Zulu.
Thanks, Bongani. Good morning. The City of Johannesburg and the Socio-Economic Rights Institute of South Africa are set to square off in the High Court today over the Metro's removal of informal traders in some parts of the city. In recent months, the Metro has implemented a program to remove traders operating without authorization and outside designated locations. The municipality argues that informal traders have contributed to an untidy city centre. Afaramushwana reports.
The City of Johannesburg acknowledges that informal trading often results from unemployment, with breadwinners seeking ways to provide for their families. However, the city opposes informal traders operating without municipal authorization or outside designated trading areas. Johannesburg Mayor Tata Morero says while the Metro sympathizes with traders, it will no longer allow them to operate freely.
Our enforcement operations will therefore continue and should not be seen as a punitive measure, but as a restorative measure to ensure that we can maintain safety and law and order within our city.
Morero says unauthorized informal trading has jeopardized safety, cleanliness and access to emergency routes in Johannesburg CBD. Alpha Ramshwana, Eyewitness News.
In the capital, Civic Movement Soil of Africa has called for transparency and accountability from the Tshwane Metro over what it says is excessive and unsustainable use of water tankers. The organization says the Metro is spending millions of rands each year on tanker services, while thousands of residents in disadvantaged communities continue to live without fixed water and sanitation systems. The group has also highlighted municipal records showing that between July and December last year, the city spent approximately 300 million rand on water tankers operations alone. Civic Movement Soil of Africa Chairperson Bongani Ramoncha.
The opposition has criticized a recent adjustment budget in which Tshwane increased its water tank allocation by over 240 million, while water infrastructure capital works remain backbent.
Ramoncha says they are demanding that the funds be redirected into installing taps, pipelines and sanitation infrastructure.
That the municipality adopt a clear plan and timeline to phase out reliance on water tankers as a primary supply method and instead implement permanent infrastructure upgrades.
An aviation expert says continued failure to deal with the suspension of instrument flight procedures is indefensible as airlines and commuters are impacted. Instrument flight procedures are crucial for efficient airport access in all weather conditions, helping pilots take off or land in adverse weather conditions or during poor visibility. State-owned company the Air Traffic Navigation Services has been under fire for some time now for missing some deadlines to submit paperwork to the Civil Aviation Authority for reapproval of flight procedures. Kaye Ally has more.
The Air Traffic Navigation Services previously confirmed the suspension of 2 instrument flight procedures at Kruger-Mpumalanga International Airport to ensure compliance with regulatory requirements. But some airlines have also raised concerns about flight delays caused by the suspensions at other airports, including in Gqeberha, Polokwane and at least 2 airports in KZN. While Transport Minister Barbara Creasy met with the ATNS board earlier this year to address the matter, aviation expert Lyndon Burns says the glacial response to the administrative issues is damaging.
The tragedy is that this affects so many fragile economies around the country, like Richards Bay, for example.
Some carriers, including Airlink, say they're spending millions of rands in unbudgeted costs on extra fuel, staff costs, customer compensation and reputational harm caused by the impact on business. Nogukhanya Mdambo, Eyewitness News.
And the government in Morocco has announced measures aimed at encouraging young people to be involved in politics and pledging social reforms amid youth-led protests. A draft finance bill for the 2026 year would improve social services, including public education and healthcare, 2 important sectors which demonstrators have argued the government to reform. Another bill seeks to enhance the roles of political parties, improve their transparency, and help more women and young people to join. Social inequalities remain a major challenge in Morocco, where deep regional disparities persist alongside a gap between the public and private sectors. A cloudy day in store for Gauteng with showers expected. The temperatures will peak at highs between 20 and 24.
And in the traffic, we've got delays on the N1 North. This is between the N12 exit and the Diepkloof interchange. Peak time delays there. While travelling on the Mike 1 North, heavier traffic volumes between Boysons Road and Empire Road. There's also queuing traffic in Kelvin along the N3 North between Marlborough Drive and the Buccleuch interchange, and that's due to roadworks.
The top story, the city of Joburg and the Socio-Economic Rights Institute of South Africa are set to square off in court today.
29-year-old Tsana saw the premium, did the maths, and jumped on the OUTsurance deal. She now pays only 796 Rand a month for her 2025 dashing. And after one quick call, 55-year-old Andre got an amazing premium of only 776 Rand a month for his Toyota Urban Cruiser. Ready for more out of your insurance? SMS out to 45142 today. That's out to 45142. OUTsurance is a licensed insurer and FSP. T's, C's and information online.
What do partners of the Gates Foundation do when facing the world's toughest challenges? They keep going. From discovering a plastic drape that helps detect excessive postpartum bleeding faster, to developing better bed nets to kill malaria-carrying mosquitoes, to researching an RSV vaccine that could save hundreds of thousands of children. For every problem, there are people who prove that progress is possible. The Gates Foundation, partners of human potential. Learn more at gatesfoundation.org/keep going.
With OUTsurance Business Insurance, you can protect your business and reward your cash flow. Switch to OUTsurance Business Insurance and you could get an out bonus of up to 10% of your paid premiums back. For law firms, real estate agencies, computer services and other industries, OUTsurance Business Insurance are trusted experts in insuring your business. Get a quick and easy quote today. Call 08600 60,000 or visit outsurance.co.za, a licensed insurer and FSP.
You can become a victim of a legal problem: wrongful arrest, assault, uncontested divorce, rental dispute, maintenance matters, or labor problems. It can happen to you. Clientele Legal provides tough professional lawyers for an affordable monthly premium. Our legal team is standing by to assist you 24 hours a day. Join today. SMS Legal to 48721. That's legal to 48721. Clientele General is an authorized FSP and licensed non-life insurer. T's and C's online. Standard rates apply.
For the first time ever, the G20 summit is being hosted on African soil, a moment of solidarity, equality and sustainability. Tomorrow, or at least on Fridays, on Fridays, the G20 Correspondence Desk on 702 Breakfast is brought to you by RMB and FNB. They are proud sponsors of this year's G20 summit, divisions of First Rand Bank Limited, an authorized financial services and credit provider.
702.
WhatsApp Bongani on 072
702 1702.
Good morning, Bongani. BES felt because the biggest weighting goes towards ownership.
So it's about the one person that owns the business and not the thousands it employs. All right. So scrap ownership as a criteria. Focus on job creation, incentivize job creation and employment equity, and you will see unemployment go down. You will see the economy growing. You will see BE finally being broad-based. This is Hendrik from Pretoria. Scrap ownership as a criteria. It is a value-destroying metric.
Good morning, Bongs. The problem with most people is that they've reduced BE to tenders. And to be quite frank, collusion is a form of corruption of which mostly white companies are doing in the construction space and the road construction space. But nobody says anything. You know, BE is not and should not be reduced to tenders. The truth of the matter is a lot of black people wouldn't have the positions that they have in their workspaces if there was no BE. So BE has to stay. Yeah, tenders can be regulated, but not BE.
I suspect you both are having a big agreement there in terms of how to make this policy broad-based as it claims, and to empower many more people than just those who are connected political elites. And I think maybe that's the conversation we need to have.
702.
What's the question?
What's the question is brought to you by Outsurance, and it's your chance to win up to 3,000 Rand in cash. First, 1,000 Rand for the answer, and then a little later, 2,000 Rand if you can give us the question. SMS out to 45142 now, and you could save on your car insurance. If you don't, ask Outsurance for 500 Rand. Today's answer comes from Opa, who is in Mpumalanga. Opa, what's the question? What's the answer? What's the answer? What's the answer? Sorry, not the question. What's the answer, Opa?
Morning, Bongani. The answer is nobody's girl.
Nobody's girl is the answer. Bit of a rough one there, Opa, but we'll take it. Have you got yourself a quote from Outsurance?
Yes, sir.
1,000 Rand is coming your way, all thanks to 702 and Outsurance. Nobody's girl is the answer. What is the question? Call us if you know on 011 8830
EWN Sport.
All right, Cindy Paluta, 17 minutes to 8. Let's get an update on the second day of the second test between Pakistan and the Proteas.
Yeah, Pakistan.
Is it Asan?
Yeah,
Pakistan's.
Sorry?
Is it a ya ne?
Yeah.
Asan.
Pakistan are just frustrating the Proteas bowlers. There just seems like there's absolutely no breakthrough. They're currently 293 for 5 in the middle. You've got Shakil on 56 and Salman on 32. Yesterday, Maharaj and Harmer took 2 wickets each, but we do have to note that the Proteas did themselves no favours yesterday. They dropped 5 catches. Proteas women also playing Pakistan today, but this is at the Cricket World Cup. South Africa has already qualified for the semi-final. The first South African team in any sport to reach the semi-final at 5 consecutive World Cups.
Wow.
Bowler Masabata class.
To be honest, we are ready and we're just going to keep on doing what's been working for us and obviously go there with the positive mindset of winning tomorrow's game. So like every game is important to us, starting from tomorrow's game.
Yesterday, Bangladesh dreams of making the semi-final shattered as they lost to Sri Lanka by 7 runs. In the English Premier League last night, Brentford got a first away win of the season. They beat West Ham 2-0 with goals from Thiago and Jensen. The Hammers stay second from bottom on the table. Champions League action tonight in the early kickoff. Barcelona hosts Olympiacos. Later at 9, Arsenal welcome Atletico Madrid. The defending champions, PSG, are away in Leverkusen. Newcastle battles Benfica. Manchester City away at Villarreal. And then last year's runners-up Inter Milan are taking on Union St. Gilois. Springboks waiting over an injury to Argeir Snyman. He hurt his hip playing for Leinster over the weekend. He is in Rassie Erasmus' squad of 36 for the end-of-year tour. Zachary Porton is the only uncapped player in that squad. Missing the cut altogether, Willie Leroux, Faf de Klerk and Vincent Koch, while veterans Bonambi and Mapimpi are 2 of 10 players on standby. While Ireland play the All Blacks on the 1st of November in Chicago without wing Mac Hansen, who injured his foot playing for Connacht. Cindy Paluta, Eyewitness News Sport.
702.
More than a radio station.
Let's walk the talk.
Corporates That Care promotes and encourages corporate leaders and really all citizens to walk the talk for a better South Africa. This Wednesday, we're speaking to Pick n Pay's Group CEO, Sean Summers. We do this on Wednesdays to highlight efforts of companies and brands dedicated to building our country. Corporates That Care is a Prime Media Cares initiative with 702 and Prime Media Outdoor. 702, let's walk the talk, and together make a difference.
Breathe in, insurance. Breathe out, pineapple. In, insurance. Breathe out, pineapple. Again. In, insurance. Out, pineapple. Again and again. Pineapple FSP 48650 is underwritten by Omart Insure Limited, a licensed non-life insurer and authorized FSP.
KwaZulu-Natal is South Africa's fastest growing business tourism hub, and the numbers prove it. Since 2020, business events have injected 1.8 billion rand into the province, driving inclusive growth across the tourism value chain. So tomorrow, 7:02 is in conversation with KZN Tourism and Film. Find out how KwaZulu-Natal is building South Africa's global getaway for business. Don't miss 7:02 in conversation with KZN Tourism and Film tomorrow on 7:02 Drive with John Pullman.
EWN Traffic.
13 to 8, the CWN traffic brought to you by the new Opel Grandland. With smart tech and striking design, it's German engineering on a grand scale. Test drive one today at your nearest Opel dealer. There are delays in the Centurion area. Amo?
That's correct, Bongani. That's as you approach the John Foster Drive exit along the N1. An accident happened right at that John Foster off-ramp. It's causing those delays. And still there, we've got faulty traffic lights at the N1 and John Foster Drive. Do expect heavy traffic volumes while heading towards the CBD. We've got an accident reported on the N14 North that happened before Euphius Road, still causing those huge delays while traveling in Calvin Roadworks along the N3 North, causing delays towards the Buccleuch turn off just as you come out of Marlborough Drive. There's also queuing traffic on the M1 South between the Buccleuch interchange and Greyston Drive. I'll have more updates for you. Stay tuned.
There's more EWN on air, online, and on the EWN app.
Don't ever settle for great. You know that great feeling after nailing a big presentation? Imagine upgrading that. I'm talking driving home with your car's massage seat, practically high-fiving your bum. Headlights so bright, you feel like the star your boss said you were. Arriving home, making an entrance, grander than your slide transitions. Go grand in the new Opel Grandland, designed and made in Germany. Visit opel.co.za for more.
Opel Grandland.
Feel the rhythm of summer at the Old Mutual Music in the Gardens, featuring MiCasa and Jazeel Brothers, live on Saturday, 25 October at the Walter Sisulu Botanical Garden. Experience soulful sounds, sunshine, and good vibes in one of Joburg's most beautiful settings. Get your tickets now at webtickets.co.za. Proudly presented by Old Mutual, 702 and Breakout Events.
Mzansi, Powerball just got bigger and the stakes even higher with a mind-blowing 160 million rand estimated jackpot this Tuesday. Play Powerball for an estimated 160 million rand jackpot today. What would you do with it, Amo? Hey, you could win one of the biggest, highest recorded jackpots in the country. Buy your tickets now in-store on nationallottery.co.za, the mobile app, cell phone banking, or simply dial *120 *7529 hash for USSD. Panda, Pusha, Play. Players must be 18 years or older. Play responsibly. Ituba is the proud operator of the National Lottery.
702.
What's the question?
For 2,000 Rand in cash, all thanks to Outsurance. Please tell me, what's the question? If the answer is nobody's girl, let's go to see who has it correct. Mervyn in Ruareport. Mervyn, what's the question?
Hi, Bongani. The question is, which memo by Virginia Roberts to Frey, the late, will be released today, in the terms of abuse and fighting for justice? It's called Nobody's Girl.
Nobody's Girl. Virginia Giuffre, of course, that memoir released today, and it centers Prince Andrew of the British royal family in the Epstein scandal, right? In the Epstein scandal. And of course, you would have seen in recent days, because of that association with Jeffrey Epstein, Prince Andrew has been stripped of his titles and some of his royal honors. That indeed is the question. Mervyn in Rudaput, 2,000 Rand in cash is coming your way, all thanks to 702 and Outsurance. I want you to listen to a report by Victoria Derbyshire, who looks into Nobody's Girl and some of the details of what has emerged. And I don't see how Andrew survives this because I bet you he probably won't be called Prince for much longer either, will he?
There are really big questions for Prince Andrew, the royal family, and law enforcement. She says the Newsnight interview with Prince Andrew was an injection of jet fuel. Virginia Giuffre asks in her book, did he really take his daughter Beatrice out for a pizza on March the 10th, 2001? Would his medical records really show that he'd lost the ability to sweat? She reminds us all that Prince Andrew had pledged to demonstrate his regret for his association with Epstein by supporting the fight against sex trafficking and by supporting its victims. Has he done this? She also asks, where are those videotapes the FBI confiscated from Epstein's houses? And why haven't they led to the prosecution of any more abusers? Finally, she says this starkly. Don't be fooled by those in Epstein's circles who say they didn't know what Epstein was doing. Anyone who spent any significant amount of time with Epstein saw him touching girls in ways you wouldn't want a creepy old man touching your daughter.
The Times also goes into some of the money issues around all of this. $15,000 for Virginia Giuffre to perform all kinds of unspeakable acts with Prince Andrew.
Virginia Giuffre said she was paid $15,000 to service Prince Andrew. Virginia took her own life at her home in Australia in April, but before her death, she signed off on a book about her life, which included these new details. In the memoir, she recalls Prince Andrew being asked to guess her age, which he did correctly, because his daughters, Beatrice and Eugenie, were just a little younger than Virginia. She was just 17 at the time. Virginia alleges that her 3 interactions with the prince included group sex, puppets, and particular attention to her feet. The princess denied the allegations, but settled a civil lawsuit with Virginia for around $12 million. Last month, newly released sections of Epstein's financial ledgers revealed that Epstein paid a masseuse $200 on behalf of an Andrew during a visit to his Palm Beach home on February the 11th, 2000. The next day, Prince Andrew and Epstein attended a party with Donald Trump at Mar-a-Lago.
And that is why this is in the news, because, of course, that name, Donald Trump, in association with Jeffrey Epstein, keeps coming up.
You could spend 10 minutes trying to fix the office printer, or get a 10-minute quote from Outsurance that could save you thousands on your car insurance. SMS out to 45142. Like 65-year-old Helena, who now pays an incredibly low 398 Rand a month for her 2025 Hyundai Extra. With Outsurance, you get the legendary Out Bonus that pays you a percentage of your premiums back if you're claim-free. SMS out to 45142. After switching, 48-year-old Felicity now pays only 836 Rand a month for her 2020 Hyundai Tucson. Outsurance will either save you money on your car insurance or give you cash. If Outsurance can't beat what you're currently paying, ask them for 500 Rand. Make that 1,500 Rand if you've been claim-free and with the same insurer for 3 years. Savings or cash, you have nothing to lose. SMS out to 45142. That's out to 45142. Outsurance, licensed insurer and FSP. TCs and information online.
Prime Media, South Africa's most trusted media group, presents Prime Impact, a free 1-hour business seminar running daily at Prime Media offices in Sandton from the 3rd to the 7th of November. Learn how radio and digital can reach your target market and grow your business with more customers. Every registered business receives a tailored demo ad and a simple campaign plan, plus access to event-only package opportunities. Seats are limited, so secure your spot now. Register at primeimpact.co.za. That's primeimpact.co.za.
Psst. Hey, no longer feeling like the man you used to be?
The man who has inside jokes with complete strangers.
The fact is, 95% of men with low testosterone go untreated.
Vitamin High Performance Supplements for men helps recharge energy, regain lean muscle, and reload performance. Available at all good pharmacies and Vitalamin.co.za.
Vitalamin. Don't get older. Get better.
Herschel Gibbs here with more than just a crypto ad. Crypto payments are now live on 10Bet. And there's more. Download the app, deposit, and get an extra 5% in cash. The future of betting, faster, safer, and smoother. Play now at 10bet.co.za. 10Bet is a licensed betting operator and supports responsible gambling. No persons under the age of 18 shall be permitted to bet. Betting can be addictive. Winners know when to stop. South African Responsible Gambling Foundation toll-free counselling line 0800 006 008 or WhatsApp help to 076 675 0710.
The vault is loaded. The clock is ticking. Get ready for Swiper by Absa Rewards. Next week, 702 and Absa Rewards could make you up to 30,000 Rand richer. Plus, give you a chance at a brand new JQ J5 Vortex, plus 3 months of premium car insurance from Absa if you're an active Absa Rewards member with a valid driver's license. Want in? Send hashtag Absa Swiper Rewards to 067 384 0022 and catch Swiper by Absa Rewards on 702 Breakfast with Bongani Bingwa. Your story matters. Absa. Absa is an authorized FSP and registered credit provider. T's and C's available at primediaplus.com.
702.
702. What's gone viral?
With Kabazela.
Time now for the world of viral content. Kabazela.
Good morning to you, Belle.
Who let the dogs out?
Yeah, I mean, this video made me laugh, I must say. So this guy has, I think there's about 4 bulldogs that he has in his house, in his yard. And if you're a bulldog owner, they say they are very, very needy dogs. So when he exits the house, he obviously, he goes for a walk or whatever. It looks like it's quite an adventure for him. It must be quite annoying, I must imagine. So what he does is, instead of opening the gate, because, they can all run out and run after him, he goes to the front premises wall and he just hops over the wall. But as he's hopping over the wall, this one bulldog leaps up and grabs onto his pants. And then they all start hopping up and grabbing onto his pants. And he's struggling there on the wall trying to get his leg free. Then eventually he does, and then he gets over the wall and then does what he needs to do. So you can imagine that must be quite an adventure every day, trying to get out of the house with these dogs who are very, very needy. So I wanted to put that out there to our 702 family. Have you got a needy dog? And maybe when they were puppies or whatever, they wanted to be around you all the time, and you had to come up with a creative way of leaving the house. And it also can be quite difficult to leave the house because you think, oh, shame, oh, poor puppy, I'm leaving the house all by itself. So it might be just for you to appease yourself and your feelings. But yeah, let's hear those stories this morning. I'm sure you have had no issues with your well-trained dogs.
You should see them when I come home. All right, do you have one of those dogs or puppies that struggles when you're gone and you have to find all kinds of creative ways to leave the house to make that creative getaway? Let us know.
702.
702.
Feedback with Baphelile Sambo.
You're not even a dog person, really, Baphelile. Are you more of a cat person?
Yes, I am.
You're a cat person.
Because it can take care of itself. I don't have all the time. I just love cats.
Have you seen those videos on TikTok where the cats attack their owners?
No. Cats are the most sweetest innocents. Like, they are so, like...
But no. I hear you. I'm just saying, have you seen videos of cats attacking their owners?
I have. Have you seen dogs attacking their owners?
Touche.
Bongani, we are getting lots of reaction, especially as our matriculants are writing exams.
Yes, of
Aunties,
course.
uncles, moms, neighbors are wishing them well wishes for them to do better and do best, as this is the start of their life.
Indeed, many more of those. Please keep them coming today. Matrics all around the country start writing their final exams. If you've got a matriculant in your life, tell us who they are and wish them well.
And 702 lenders are also reacting to that awkward moment of Dudula President Zandile Dabula when she was asked about frontline states. Some feel that it was an unfair question, but many say it didn't look great for her, especially given the leadership position that she holds.
If it was anybody else, I might say it would have been a gotcha moment, but I think it was important to establish, for someone playing in the political space, you can't have an ahistorical perspective. You can't not know about how we end up where we are. And I think that was the whole point, is that these people didn't just come out of nowhere. The people that Dudula would seek to persecute didn't come out of nowhere. And if you don't understand that history, your perspective, I'm afraid, is going to be one that is ignorant. And I think that point was well made in that interview. If you've got a different point of view, let me know. It's 8 o'clock.
This is EWN.
Senzo Mchunu is back on the hot seat in Parliament, and Ramaphosa gives an untroubled response to the DA's announcement about wanting to replace triple BEE. Good morning, I'm Sfiso Zulu. Embattled Police Minister Senzo Mchunu returns to Parliament today to finalise his testimony before the ad hoc committee investigating police corruption and interference. He is expected to continue defending his directive to disband the Political Killings Task Team and whether his decision was influenced by people who are allegedly implicated in crime. Mchunu, who is on leave of absence, also denied being part of any criminal conspiracy to move focus away from organised crime by disbanding the task team. Babalondenza reports.
Senzo Mchunu told the ad hoc committee last week, before wrapping up his testimony, that he had no links to crime syndicates. He told the committee that his decision to disband the Political Killings Task Team was a lawful one, and he was empowered by the Constitution. He dismissed allegations linking him to organized crime that were made by KZN Provincial Commissioner Nhlanhla Mkhwanazi before the committee.
But I know that at the same time, statements have been made in this comment that I'm no criminal. General Mkhwanazi knows in his conscience that I'm not a criminal, that I have nothing to do with criminal syndicates.
The committee today is expected to continue listening to recorded audio conversations between Mkhunu's Chief of Staff Cedric Nkabinde and Mkhwanazi, where he says the KZN Provincial Commissioner threatened him. Babalondenza, Eyewitness News.
The Basic Education Department says schools have backup venues and standby in case of emergencies such as natural disasters that may affect writing centres during this year's matric exams. Minister Sivuyo Kwahube announced at a media briefing yesterday that there are almost 7,000 exam centres across the country to accommodate more than 900,000 matriculants. The class of 2025 is set to begin exams today, with the minister saying all systems are in place to ensure a smooth exam season. Jabulile Mbata reports.
Met die laaste stormloop van vakansieverkeer wat die naweek verwag word, doen die stad 'n beroep op padgebruikers om asseblief verantwoordelik op te tree. Die stad se wetstoepassingsagentskappe sal fokus op hoofwegpatrollies in en uit die metro.
We apologize for that incorrect soundbite. ANC President Cyril Ramaphosa has downloaded the DA's proposal to subvert the country's controversial triple BEE policy, doubling down on what he says is government's transformational agenda. This follows the DA's repeated calls, including yesterday's proposal to scrap broad-based black economic empowerment and replace it with an economic empowerment bill. The party says this would remove race as a determining factor, replacing it with a needs-based approach. The BEE Act was introduced in 2003 as a redress policy to deal with the racial economic inequalities caused by apartheid. The BEE policy has for some time been a bone of contention between the DA and its larger partner in the Government of National Unity. Ramaphosa says the proposal needs to be discussed at the right platforms.
I have not yet seen their proposals. So if anyone wants an amendment to the BE legislation, they must table their proposals. They must be taken for discussion in Parliament. And at the moment, the BE policies, legislation, regulations as they stand apply without any dilution whatsoever.
And US President Donald Trump has warned that Hamas it will be eradicated if it breaches the Gaza deal with Israel. His threat comes after Israel killed dozens of Palestinians in Gaza on Sunday after accusing Hamas of killing 2 of its soldiers who were on Palestinian territory. Hamas's top negotiator Khalil al-Hayya has told Egypt's Al Qahira News that the group is still committed to the ceasefire agreement. Trump says he will give the Palestinian militant group a chance to honor the truce that he helped broker nearly 2 weeks ago.
We're going to give it a little chance, and hopefully there will be a little less violence. But right now, they're violent people. Hamas has been very violent, but they don't have the backing of Iran anymore. They don't have the backing of really anybody anymore. They have to be good. And if they're not good, they'll be eradicated.
Gold is trading at $4,324, 12 cents an ounce. The rand is at 17.26 to the dollar, 23.09 to the pound, 20.07 to the euro. Brent crude oil is at $60.98 a barrel.
There's queuing traffic on the Mark 1 North between Boyson's Road and Empire Road. Earlier on, a taxi was stuck right near Car Street. It's been cleared, but traffic remains very slow. And traveling on the N3 North, we've got queuing traffic between Vincent Chabalala Road and the Baklu interchange due to roadworks.
And in your sport, Pakistan continues to frustrate the Proteas men, cruising past the 300 mark on day 2 of the second test. While the Proteas women also play Pakistan today, but this at the Cricket World Cup starting 11:30. And an action-packed night in the Champions League with the champions PSG and runners-up Inter Milan in action, along with Arsenal, City and Barcelona.
A cloudy day in store for Gauteng with isolated showers and thunder showers expected. The temperatures will peak at highs between 20 and 24 degrees. The top story in EWN this hour: embattled Police Minister Senzo Mchunu returns to Parliament today to finalise his testimony before the ad hoc committee investigating police corruption and interference.
EWN, in touch, in tune, and independent. For the latest, visit ewn.co.za or download the EWN app.
This is Breakfast with Bongani Bingwa
on 702.
Let's walk the talk.
You've just joined us. It's 7 minutes after 8 o'clock. Welcome to the program. What you missed so far on the show, we spoke about that major internet disruption yesterday affecting Amazon Web Services. But we also spoke about BEE and the DA's launch of an Economic Inclusion for All bill, which they say could replace black economic empowerment. The president was asked questions about this, by the way, as to what he thought of the DEE's policy, and he was quite emphatic that broad-based black economic empowerment is not going anywhere.
The issue of BEE as it's being raised by the DA, I have not yet seen their proposals. What they are suggesting is what I have not yet seen. Currently, we have a BEE policy that is rooted and underpinned by our Constitution and the laws that we have passed. So if anyone wants an amendment to the BEE legislation, they must table their proposals. They must be taken for discussion in Parliament. And at the moment, the BEE policies, legislation, regulations as they stand apply without any dilution whatsoever.
Played you that viral clip that everyone has been talking about, Operation Dudula leader Zandile Dubula, in an awkward response to a question about whether or not she understands what the frontline states were. It was quite a telling moment because, of course, she couldn't quite give a definitive answer about what that actually meant. And she couldn't remember the history of how that grouping came together in 1974. This, of course, as various countries like Angola, Mozambique, Namibia, southern and northern Rhodesia sought to get rid of the yoke of minority rule, and those liberation movements came together in a cooperation pact. If you missed it, here it is again.
Mr. Let me just ask an open-ended question. If I say frontline states, what comes to mind and what can you say in relation to that?
So now this is about the people. We have this Freedom Charter where Operation Dudula is entrenching the Freedom Charter that says people shall govern. And, currently we don't have leaders. We are on autopilot. And that's where Operation Dudula comes in.
No, I'm asking about frontline states.
Frontline states. So this is about... are you now taking this together with the...
If I say to you frontline states, from a historical perspective, what comes to mind as we have this conversation?
The frontline states, I would believe it's about, the people in power.
Quite clearly not knowing the answer there. My colleague, no doubt will weigh on this, Clement Manyatela, asking the question, why didn't the presenter just explain what the frontline states are, he says on X, for the benefit of genuinely making his point about frontline states versus Dudula's actions. This wasn't an exam, it's an interview, he says. She should also have asked, what does that mean? You agree with that, Amo?
I said 110% agree with that. For me, qualities of a great leader is someone who is not perfect, someone who is able to ask, someone who doesn't come to or show up to interviews as knowing everything. And the quality of a great leader is someone who's a good listener, right? So you ask, and
If
then
you don't know.
if you don't know.
All right, let's put it out there. I've shared what I think. Amo says what she thinks. Clement has tweeted what he thinks. What do you think? Let us know.
Morning, Bongles. You guys are wrong for that one. That's not a political thing. That's a terminology thing. I don't even know what a frontline state is until you guys mentioned it. That's not a self-explanatory term. And when the interviewer was supposed to pick up, this lady has no idea what a frontline state is, and give a more layman's description of that to ensure that the interview can go in. It was a gotcha question where the gotcha question is not even a question that someone can essentially make sense of. Nah, they were wrong for that one. I don't agree with what these guys are doing, but to use terminology that's not familiar to someone and then assume that means they don't know what they're talking about is kind of insulting as well on a different level. English came on a boat. I always say that. Yeah.
I would say it's not English, it's history, but that's my view. Let's talk to Pat, who's called us from Sandton. You want to talk about BEE. And do you agree with the DA's position on this?
We are on the front lines of the economic freedom. I'm kidding.
We're still a frontline state.
I'm kidding. To be honest, I'm anti the DA's stance on this BEE question. And I think, yes, the conversation around BEE having not benefited the majority of the people has been, become prominent, particularly obviously with the rise of, or with the emergence of the MAGA movement. And I think what DA is trying to do is to align themselves with that. But I'm not going to speak on that.
Well, go ahead.
The question that we need to, the question that we need to be asking ourselves is, why has it not worked? Number one, we still have the majority of wealth sitting with the 7% of the population, right? And if we want to transform this economy, that should be the fundamental question to say, how do we then bring people together? We cannot create a poverty, what did they call it? I even forget the terminology that DA used to say we're going to just uplift, we're going to focus on the poor. If we're going to focus on the poor, in my view, and you don't change the economic makeup of the society, it means that the poor will remain poor and you're going to end up having a nanny state.
Yeah, and Pat, I mean, I'm of the firm view that perhaps let's create new wealth instead of even thinking about feeding schemes, hey? You get points for feeding schemes for this DA policy. Imagine that, hey? Instead of creating wealth, you get points for feeding schemes. We're running out of time, Pat. I think you've made your point. Appreciate the call. A quick one from Sebastian in Elders. Your son is writing matric. Good morning.
Yes, Bongani, I'd like to wish Tyler Cairo Petrus a wonderful exam. He studied hard. He must take it easy in his stride, and I'm wishing him well, and I know he's going to make me proud. I really and truly know he's going to do this for me, culminating in 12 years of hard work, and keep it up, boy. Daddy's rooting for you.
Get him some chuckies from us, hey, Sebastian?
We'll definitely do, Bongani.
Absolutely. Appreciate that call. Matrics writing exams all around the country. Do you have a son, a daughter, a nephew, or a niece, goddaughter, somebody whose child is very close to you? Let us know who they are and wish them well.
Good morning, 702 Land. This is Jasmine from Joburg, and a shout out to my niece, Thamina Khan, who is writing her matric starting on Thursday at Roosevelt High. Good luck, my baby, and the entire class of 2025. You guys have got this. You've been preparing, and I have no doubt that you guys are going to be amazing. Good luck, guys, and I love you, Thamina. Bye.
EWN Traffic.
8:15. Let's catch up with the roads. A busy morning. Inclement weather. What are we seeing, Amo?
A busy morning indeed, Bongani. Delays on the M1 South. This is between the Baklu interchange and Corler Drive, and then the delays continues towards the Kilani Bends. This is just as you head towards Hartson Drive. While traveling within the inner city areas, we've got delays in Morningside along South Road approaching Rivonia Road. There's also queuing traffic on Bowling Avenue. This is just as you approach Witkoppen Road. Traffic lights are out of order at that intersection, and that's the reason for those delays. While in Kelvin, bumper-to-bumper traffic on the N3 North between Marlborough and the Baklu interchange due to roadworks. More updates coming up. Stay tuned.
There's more EWN on air, online, and on the EWN app.
Mzansi Powerball just got bigger and the stakes even higher with a mind-blowing 160 million rand estimated jackpot this Tuesday. Play Powerball for an estimated 160 million. You could win one of the highest recorded jackpots in the country. Buy your tickets now in-store on nationallottery.co.za, the mobile app, cell phone banking, or simply dial *120 *7529# for USSD. Panda, Pusha, Play. Players must be 18 years or older. Play responsibly. Ituba is the proud operator of the National Lottery.
You can become a victim of a legal problem, wrongful arrest, assault, uncontested divorce, rental disputes, maintenance matters, or labor problems. It can happen to you. Clientele Legal provides tough professional lawyers for an affordable monthly premium. Our legal team is standing by to assist you 24 hours a day. Join today. SMS Legal to 48721. That's legal to 48721. Clientele General is an authorized FSP and licensed non-life insurer. T's and C's online. Standard rates apply.
After a short migration, the family arrives at the Premier Resort, rich in food, drink, and entertainment. The young, freed from classroom captivity, head straight for Kids Club and the safety of the herd. The adult male meanders to the scuba center, while the matriarch basks by the pool.
Book your resort escape to Knysna, East London, Scottborough, or Sunny Pass at premierhotels.co.za.
This is Breakfast with Bongani Bingwa
on 702.
Let's walk the talk.
Oh man, oh man, oh man. This Pride Month, what better way to celebrate than by turning the city into a dazzling rainbow of love, pride and unity. The 36th Johannesburg Pride is set to light up the Sandton CBD this weekend on Katherine Street between Rivonia and West, promising a spectacular day of celebration, empowerment, advocacy for LGBTQIA plus community and family across the continent. From 10 a.m. until midnight, the streets will come alive with mouth-watering food, electrifying entertainment, and unforgettable festivities that honor diversity, inclusion, and the power of being unapologetically yourself. Kaye Ally is the Executive Director of Johannesburg Pride and the founder of Pride of Africa and joins us now on the line. Always a pleasure to have you on the show, Kaye. 36 years of Johannesburg Pride.
Good morning, Bongani. Thank you for having me. Yes, 36 years, how time flies.
You blink and you miss it. Each year, of course, there are different issues that have to be highlighted for the queer community and allies in general. What are we focusing on this year?
The theme is purely queerly African. I think it's not just another theme or another event. I think this year it's a living reminder that while we are protected constitutionally, our lived realities don't always match that promise. If you look at the incidents of hate crime that happened and is still ongoing with the South African Human Rights Commission and the de-Africanization of the LGBT community, there's still a lot of violence and discrimination that we're facing around policing a queer existence. So, purely queerly African and asserting ourselves and our existence.
Queerly African, I think, is an important theme in light of recent debates about whose Africa it is anyway, whose traditions, whose clothes, whose symbols, iconography there are anyway. What was your take on that discussion, prompted, of course, by that wedding that went viral and the response to it?
I think my take is for any young queer African, from a Pride perspective, we're saying we see you, you belong, and you don't have to shrink to survive. I think at the end of the day, that is what has happened in recent weeks has been a firm reminder to us in terms of why Pride still exists, why we as an African community still need visibility, and why we still need to assert our demand for equality. And it's more than just words on paper, Bongani. I think the very core of our existence was questioned recently. And we need to not allow anyone to dim our voices or ask us to sacrifice our stance and our visibility as African LGBT communities in a post for someone else or for someone else's belief.
So if I understand you correctly, then you've themed it in a way that confronts exactly some of those criticisms. Are you wanting everyone who's coming out to Pride this year to show up in their most African queer selves? In other words, let's wear these clothes that we are told don't belong to us. Let's be these people that we are told we cannot be.
I think it's a sense of reclaiming and celebrating our queer African identities. And absolutely, it's not that we're saying wear clothes that we're not allowed to. It's part of our traditions and culture.
All right, what are some of the highlights to expect?
3 stages, over 50 artists, a march at 2 o'clock with the executive mayor in leading us out. And I think the reality is that the cultural ownership, we want all of us to come out creatively expressing our traditions that tell a story alongside our queer culture. And I think that's the most important message, is that we want to assert our identities.
Indeed, it's a long time. It's a long road from 1990 when we had the first Pride march or event in Johannesburg. 36 years later, it's happening this weekend, as I say, in the heart of the Sandton CBD on Katherine Street between Rivonia and West. And it starts at 10 a.m. until midnight. The festivities will go on. That march aspect at 2 o'clock. Come as an ally, come as a queer person, and come as your queerly African self.
702, The World View
with Adam Gilchrist.
News from elsewhere in the world now. Adam, a very good morning to you. Let's start in Bangladesh. This damaging fire, it was quite massive, wasn't it?
Huge. It took 27 hours for the firefighters to put it out. 35 people were injured, mainly smoke inhalation. Thankfully, no deaths, but in a cargo area of the main airport at Dhaka in Bangladesh, which of course is a terribly busy airport. It was closed for a couple of days, more or less. I believe it's open to passengers again, but it's the knock-on effect on the cargo. We don't often think about cargo that's being flown around the world, but Bangladesh is the world's second largest exporter of clothing, of garments, after China. And so if it's not meeting demand, and plus the fact that the cargo area that went up in flames had an awful lot of garments in it, and so it's not just the airport that will feel the losses and feel the economic damage. There are plenty of other companies, and it's not completely right yet. So business leaders in Bangladesh are talking about losses of $1 billion from this one fire, from just the last 3 days of relative inactivity. It would be a big loss also to the gross domestic product of Bangladesh, which makes $40 billion a year in selling this stuff around the world.
Adam, let's talk about hit by shrapnel in California. This is J.D. Vance's protection detail. What happened there?
I'm pretty sure there are meant to be some strict rules about this. You're not just meant to fire off particularly artillery shells in celebration near a highway, but that's what happened. As you say, J.D. Vance was there with his protection detail, helping the U.S. Marines celebrate their 250th birthday, and they were out in California, but it appears at least one shell detonated prematurely and the shrapnel rained down on the highway. 2 of J.D. Vance's own cars were hit, and you can see there are pictures with the shrapnel sticking in the hood or sticking in the car bonnet, these metal shards. It has also started a little bit of cross-party artillery, as the Democrat governor of California, Gavin Newsom, put it. Firing live rounds over a busy highway is not just wrong, it's dangerous. But then as J.D. Vance's office has replied, you're trying to stoke fears. Yeah, I'm not sure I'd want to drive around if I knew that there were live artillery shells flying overhead. Doesn't sound like what they should be doing somehow. But they are the US Marine Corps, so I'm not going to argue with them.
Adam, talking of things flying overhead, tell me about this space debris in Western Australia.
Now, the unusual thing about this is that when they found it, a load of mine workers in Western Australia up a desolate road, it was still smoking. In fact, technically, I think it was still on fire, basically, which is not very common. A kind of barrel-sized, I was going to say lump of smoking metal, but actually they think it's carbon fiber. And they believe, although the Australian Space Agency is analysing, they believe it's come from a Chinese rocket. These things do unattach themselves and plummet to Earth, and there it was on this very dusty road, but they're going to have a look into it, whether it came from a fuel tank from this rocket that was blasting off 2 to 3 weeks ago and then going around the Earth. The thing is that if they can find this smoking barrel of Chinese rocket in a remote place, albeit in a road, how many more have landed in a really remote place where there isn't a road? Or worse, how many are likely to land on you and I? It's still a thing that began in the 1960s. What goes up must come down.
At least this time we're talking about identified flying objects. Adam Gilchrist, we'll leave it there for today's Worldview.
EWN Business.
So Apple shares surging as the iPhone 17 becomes popular.
Yeah, they hit a record close of $262 per share on Monday as a new report showed iPhone 17 sales off to a strong start in the US and China. The iPhone 17 series, which dropped in September, has outsold the iPhone 16 series by 14% in the US and China within the first 10 days of availability. Research by Counterpoint Research shows that the slim latest release has proven compelling to customers. Industry estimates show that demand for the iPhone 16 put pre-order sales at around 37 million to 40 million units. The iPhone 17 is expected to be 25% more as a phone in demand.
All right, let's talk about this fintech firm based in Dubai, now set to list on the JSE.
Yeah, Optasia is aiming to shake the tables in South Africa. The fintech industry is up for another contender. Optasia has announced the offer price range for the initial public offering on the JSE at between R15.50 and R19 per share. Up to 420 million shares will be made available, representing 30% of its issued share capital. Optasia uses modern technology like AI to verify and provide customers with microloans. Fin24 says the listing could value the firm at around 26 billion rand, higher than the valuations of Pick n Pay and We Buy Cars. The final pricing will be determined by the final book build.
Your indicators?
Rand at 17 Rand 26 against the US dollar, starting to slip this morning at 20 Rand 7 cents against the euro and at 23 Rand 9 cents against the British pound. The price of gold at $4,322 an ounce, while platinum is down 1% at $1,612. Brent crude at $61.01 a barrel. Stephen Grotes with more this afternoon.
Time now for your latest Eyewitness News. Coming up, we're going to be speaking to MiCasa, performing this weekend at the Old Mutual Music in the Gardens Festival. So that is to come in the next half an hour. In the meantime, Sfisa Zulu, what do you have at this hour?
Well, Bongani, good morning. Parliament's inquiry into the Road Accident Fund will resume today with a focus on the non-payment of service providers and the fund's liabilities. This is the third week of the inquiry being conducted by the Standing Committee on Public Accounts, which is investigating financial mismanagement and governance issues at the fund. Today, the inquiry is due to hear evidence from a former hospital which at one time was owed more than 300 million rand by the fund, forcing its closure. Lindsay Dentlinger reports.
Last week, the committee heard from former employees who claimed unfair dismissals under former CEO Collins Letswalo over security matters at the fund. They testified that Letswalo had not been vetted by state security and the fund paid for his private security despite no threat being identified against him. Today, the former owner and CEO of the Sunshine Hospital in Benoni, Ken Ford, is expected to provide evidence about the relationship with the fund before the facility was sold off in an auction in June due to outstanding payments from the RAF. Later this week, the committee will also hear testimony from the RAF's former acting chief financial officer, Victor Songelwa, and former chief actuary, Itai Charakupa, about the RAF's liabilities and accounting practices. On Friday, a representative for medical experts, Mariette Minnie Botbel, will provide evidence about procurement processes and the non-payment of service providers. Lindsay Dentlinger, Eyewitness News, Parliament.
Trade Union Federation, COSATU, says it has not yet decided who of its alliance partners it will be supporting in next year's elections. COSATU, the SACP and the ANC formed a tripartite alliance in 1990 and have contested elections under the ANC banner. But the SACP has resolved to contest the upcoming local government elections alone. Tabiso Goba reports.
While its political influence has waned in recent times, COSATU remains the largest trade union federation in the country, with 20 affiliated unions representing close to 2 million workers. As such, an endorsement by COSATU carries significant political weight. Speaking on the sidelines of its bilateral meeting with the ANC yesterday, COSATU's parliamentary coordinator Matthew Parks says the federation's focus is on uniting the alliance.
But I think the message from our workers, from our delegates at our central committee is that we must unite the alliance. We must meet at the ANC, we must meet at the SCCP, and whatever approach we have for the local elections next year, we need to make sure we're all on the same page. We can't afford to be divided.
An alliance meeting between all the partners is yet to be scheduled. Tabiso Goba, Eyewitness News.
The City of Johannesburg and the Socio-Economic Rights Institute of South Africa are set to face off in the High Court today over the Metro's removal of informal traders in some parts of the Metro. In recent months, the municipality implemented a program to remove traders operating without authorization and outside designated locations. The Metro argues that informal traders have contributed to an untidy city centre. Alfara Mushwana reports.
The City of Johannesburg acknowledges that informal trading often results from unemployment, with breadwinners seeking ways to provide for their families. However, the city opposes informal traders operating without municipal authorization or outside designated trading areas. Johannesburg Mayor Tata Morero says while the Metro sympathizes with traders, it will no longer allow them to operate freely.
Our enforcement operations will therefore continue and should not be seen as a punitive measure, but as a restorative measure to ensure that we can maintain safety and law and order within our city.
Morero says unauthorized informal trading has jeopardized safety, cleanliness and access to emergency routes in Johannesburg CBD. Alfa Ramshwana, Eyewitness News.
And a drone attack has struck the vicinity of Khartoum International Airport in Sudan. This comes a day before Sudanese authorities are due to reopen the facility for domestic flights for the first time in over 2 years. Eyewitnesses say they heard the sounds of drones over central and southern Khartoum and multiple explosions in the airport area between 4 and 6 a.m. today. The airport has been shut since fighting erupted in April 2023 between the Sudanese army and the paramilitary Rapid Support Forces, leaving vital infrastructure across the capital heavily damaged. A cloudy day in store for Gauteng with isolated afternoon showers and thunder showers expected. The temperatures will peak at highs between 20 and 24 degrees.
And in the traffic, we've got delays on the Maikwan North between Boysons Road and Empire Road. There's also queuing traffic on the N3 North. This is in the Harrietdale area between the Elands Interchange and the Geldenhuys Interchange. Roadworks are taking place along that route.
The top story this hour, Parliament's inquiry into the Road Accident Fund will resume today with a focus on the non-payments of service providers and the fund's liabilities.
It is said that listening to Mozart could boost intelligence. So we at R&B bought this extended radio spot to give you 30 seconds of Mozart just to get some thinking done. That was nice, huh? Just some time to think. Well, that is precisely what we do at RMB. Invest in the time to think of smarter solutions for our clients. RMB. Solutionists love company. RMB is a division of First Rand Bank Limited, an authorized FSP and registered credit provider.
Dreaming of a tropical escape? World Leisure Holidays has your ticket to paradise with exclusive getaways to the Indian Ocean Islands. From the beaches of Mauritius and the Maldives to the charm of Madagascar, Seychelles, Zanzibar, and more, your dream destination awaits. Take advantage of early bird specials and pay stay offers. Call 011-285-2500 and mention 702 for a mystery discount. Or follow us on social media or contact your nearest travel professional. Start planning your escape today. T's and C's apply.
Business Outsurance are experts in business insurance for real estate agencies, law firms, computer services, and more. Yakolin?
We saved a lot of money when we switched over from another insurance company to Business Outsurance. We've had some claims and they were friendly and efficient and paid out when they promised.
Switch to Business Outsurance and you could get a massive 20% discount on your business insurance premium. Visit outsurance.co.za. Switch and save today. Licensed insurer and FSP. TCs and information online.
In business today, staying connected and efficient is everything. Vodacom Business is helping companies communicate, collaborate, and grow with smart, reliable solutions. This Thursday from 3 p.m., catch the afternoon drive with John Pullman. He chats to Vodacom Business about how they're helping companies work smarter and stay ahead in a fast-moving world. Only on 702. Let's walk the talk.
702.
WhatsApp Bongani on 072
702 1702.
Morning, Bongani and team. I was saying to someone yesterday that there is nothing wrong with Zandile Tabula not knowing what the frontline states are. I think what exposed her was her attempt to pretend that she understands and knows exactly what the interviewer was asking. And then she tried to come up with an answer that is completely wrong. And I think that exposed her as Umashaya. So she's someone who has no depth on a lot of things. And obviously that's why she belongs to the movement that she belongs to. And that movement does not depend on depth. It just depends on, just surface excavation of issues without necessarily having any understanding whatsoever.
Couldn't have said it better myself. And I think that's the point, right? Because at the very least, if she had said, Angaz, you tell me, right? What's that part of media training? You rock back the interviewer back on their heels and you put them on the defense if you feel as if they're coming on the offense using sports terminology. She could have just said, I don't know, and it would have been fine.
This is a message for my daughter, Ncumisa Kamogelo Mkulwa. Best of luck, my baby girl, in your final exams. It's been a long journey, but all such a beautiful journey. You have worked so hard, and I know you're going to do Mommy so proud. Good luck, my darling.
Hi, Bongani. It's Lindeni here. I'm also rooting for my son, who already started last day because he's writing IEB. My son, Bongani, this child has stood the test of time. He's been so sick. In general, his life has been that one that, but he pulled through everything. Even before the exams, he was in the hospital for 2 weeks, but then still he has the will to pull through. In general, I just want to say to him, listen, my son, I am there for you. I will be there with you all the way, all the best. And with all the other kids out there, I wish them all the best in their matric year.
EWN Sport.
Tell you what, it's not just the matriculants that we are wishing good luck to. Cindy Paluta, we are already in the semi-finals. You told us about just what an amazing feat for the Proteas women to get into yet another World Cup semi-final in a way no other team has done. But today, of course, we still have to get through the round-robin stages against Pakistan.
Yeah, and I'm sure the Proteas will be highly confident going into the game. Pakistan have played
they've, scheduled 5 games. 2 were rained out, 3 they've lost. So unfortunately, the rain has cost them quite a bit this tournament. Bola Masabata class knows it still won't be easy though.
Obviously, Pakistan is the strong team. We cannot just go there and think that we're just going to walk like in the park. But then one thing that's going to work for us is to stick to basics and do what we've been doing from day one of the World Cup. So we're not going to take them for granted. Like I said, every game is important to us.
Yesterday, Sri Lanka kept their slim semi-final hopes alive with a 7-run win over Bangladesh, who in turn are out the running to get that last spot. Live test cricket, it's turn for the Proteas men. They finally got the breakthrough. Maharaj has taken 5 wickets today in the last half hour. That's 7 wickets for the match. So Pakistan with 333 all out. Yes, so when we started this morning at 7, it was 295 for 5. There were 333 all out. Maharaj has removed in order Agar for 45, Saud for 66, Afridi for a duck, Khan for 5, and then more recently the other Afridi, Asif for 5
I just wonder how much that wicket is turning then when we go and face the music.
We'll know. We'll know within the next hour how sad our day is going to be, or not. Champions League action tonight. The early kickoff. Barcelona is hosting Olympiacos. Then later at 9 o'clock, Arsenal welcome Atletico Madrid. The defending champions PSG are away at Leverkusen. Manchester City are away at Villarreal. Last year's runners-up, Inter Milan, are taking on Union St. Gilloise. And Newcastle will battle Benfica. Here's Benfica boss Jose Mourinho.
I know that Newcastle and all the Geordies, what they want is bigger than the League Cup. But the League Cup is a beginning. To play in the Champions League is another very important step. The club goes in the right direction. Many clubs with new owners, with fresh money, lots of wrong decisions. Newcastle, since the moment they have the new ownership, lots of stability.
In the English Premier League, the misery continues for West Ham, who lost again, this time at home to Brentford 2-0. West Ham sits second from bottom, having won only 1 game this season. British media reporting that Nottingham Forest close to finalising the signing of Sean Deutsch as their new manager. And Springbok Erke Snyman picked up a hip injury playing for Leinster on the weekend. He was named in Rassie Rasmus' squad of 36 for the end-of-year tour. Zachary Porton is the only uncapped player in that squad. Cindy Paluta, Eyewitness News Sport.
EWN Traffic.
Right, let's catch up with the roads, wrapping up the morning's traffic. Amo, it's been a busy one.
Indeed, Bongani, we've got those roadworks along the N3 North in the Germiston Herrierdale area. Just as you approach the Geldenhuys interchange, about a 15-minute hold-up coming out of the Elands interchange. There's also roadworks in Kelvin on the same route, the N3 North, delays between Marlborough Drive and the Baku interchange while travelling in Morningside, delays on South Road towards Rivonia Road. There's also queuing traffic. This is along the intersection of Winnie Mandela Drive and Republic Road. Please be on the lookout there and drive with care. Traveling in the city of Tshwane, that accident we spoke about earlier along the N14 North has been cleared. Traffic is free-flowing now, but we've got delays on the N4 West between Linwood Road and the Proof Plus interchange. More updates at the top of the hour.
There's more EWN on air, online, and on the EWN app.
Naked people are totally zen because naked people spend less time on insurance admin and more time meditating and balancing their chakras. With Naked, you can cover your car, home, and stuff in seconds, and it's all online, so that means no long phone calls. Go to naked.insure now, get a car insurance quote in 90 seconds, and start meditating like naked people. Naked Financial Technology is an authorized FSP. Get naked.
Did you know that all residential complexes are legally required to register with the Community Scheme Ombud Service, or CSOS? Registration is easy and it's free. All registered schemes can access a quick and affordable alternative dispute resolution body and can also learn more about the rights and responsibilities of people living within a community scheme. We'd like to appeal to all unregistered community schemes to register with the CSOS today. Visit csos.org.za to find out more.
Change is an unannounced visitor. It can derail you or delight you. It's pushy, inescapable, intriguing. Change is motivating. Change is action. Change has places for you to be. Change is opportunity. We always have our door open to it. For over 3 decades, we've been committed to seeking out the best investment opportunities for you, wherever they may be. 91. Investing for a world of change. 91 is an authorized FSP.
In a world shaped by those who build, disrupt, and reimagine, there comes a gathering not just of minds, but of futures. The South African Future Trust Summit, in partnership with Standard Bank, is where top entrepreneurs, innovators, and changemakers converge. It's where the future of enterprise is redefined. On 5 and 6 November, you could be there. Stand a chance to win tickets to the South African Future Trust Summit on 702. WhatsApp the keyword SAFT with your name and ID number, telling us how you would benefit from attending the summit to 072-702-1702. Then catch 702 Drive with John Pullman to find out if you're a winner. The South African Future Trust Summit, in partnership with Standard Bank. Your summit, your way, on 702. TCs and more on primemediaplus.com.
Join us.
Let's walk the talk.
This is 702.
Hi, Bongani. My 7-year-old and 4-year-old daughter, every day in my house, they will play this song. I don't know who sings it, but I find myself singing the song. And yeah, I'm hooked. I'll just hum it. Yeah, that's me now lately. I don't even know who sings the song. I don't know the lyrics, but they know the lyrics. They've got me hooked.
APT, right? Look at you. We're talking about songs you've come to love because the young people in your life introduced you to them.
My niece is obsessed
Loves
with
the song.
Yeah.
How old is she?
3.
She's of course.
I mean, yeah, every time you do a video call with her, that's the song she wants you to sing along to and dance with her. I didn't know about it until like a week ago.
Really? We spoke about this on What's Gone Viral. Was it last year already?
Oh, last year?
We are with it.
Wait, this song has been around since last year?
Wake up, my friend. Kevin Manyatela in the studio to tell us what's coming up on the show.
You know which song I like?
What
There's
song do you like?
Titled Uvalo. It's like these amapiano songs. It's quite popular, and I found I discovered the song about a month ago, and I've been playing it ever since, every day.
Look at you liking new things.
Okay, coming up on the show today, we're gonna start with the 702 open line, and we are gonna talk about the class of 2025. They're gonna be starting with their exams today, so we're gonna wish them well. But I also want to know from the parents, how are you helping get them ready? Are you confiscating those devices? Are they banned from social media? Are they not going to be doing house chores because you want them to dedicate more time studying? So what's the plan in your household?
Ask me in 2 years' time.
I shall. And then we'll also talk about the DA's economic inclusion bill and whether it works or not. I was listening to some voice notes coming through on your show with some listeners saying, well, let's replace empowerment, ownership with job creation, which is great. But also, black people shouldn't just be participants in the economy. They must also be owners of the economy. And that's not to say you defend triple BEE. Of course, there's all sorts of weaknesses with that.
You can always tweak something without, what's that? I'm really mixing metaphors here. That throwing out the baby with the bathwater. Right? Because I just had a problem where it says, instead of ownership, let's give points for feeding schemes. Because that's how you see the people who need to benefit from economic policies as recipients of, soup kitchens.
Yeah, we mustn't make the mistake of apportioning the weaknesses of a policy to the failure of the government also that is in place to implement it.
And also what it seeks to do.
To achieve.
Yeah.
Because, who disagrees with what triple BEE seeks to achieve?
Right.
Who disagrees with the fact that those in power are failing to implement it properly and are exploiting it? Nobody does. But that's what we're going to do on the open line.
I can point to a few people who've been building universities.
Who did that?
Who disagree. I'm saying I can point to one or two people
who've been building
building a university who might disagree.
Yeah, at 10 o'clock, we're going to be live at the Madlanga Commission. They're fascinating things.
A.
Yeah? Witness A. Oh my goodness. I mean, I'm shocked at the fact that there are certain senior police, I mean, the head of organized crimes who goes to a party organized by a businessman, and then police officers who are investigating a sensitive matter are invited because they're supposed to somehow be offered a bribe.
Also, like,
So scary.
why are our top cops going to
Benzani. Yes.
Did you hear how he said, I was going to an event? I first thought maybe it was a Mcimbi or something, like some big Durban July. Have you been to the Durban July?
I've never been to the
I've
Durban
never
July.
been to the Durban July. Because maybe we're not top cops, eh?
Yeah, and we're not cool enough. So we're going to be live there because I do think that the intricate details of how some in the system are corrupted are actually coming out now in detail. And then at 11 o'clock, we do our World of Work feature. Today, we're discussing workplace comfort and what it takes for businesses to create that for employees. And then we wrap up the show at 11:30 with our health and wellness feature. Today, we're discussing multivitamins and how they can help you fight year-end fatigue.
Clement Mangatela on your radio between 9 and 12.
The team's on a roll today. Let me focus on payroll. Duty calls in the kitchen. That's why I have a business insurer that is agile and on the ball all the time on all things. I chose My Way Business Insurance, getting 24/7 emergency service and saving on my premiums, plus my business assist to handle my admin.
Visit myway.co.za or dial 0860 64 64 64 and get a quote today. My Way is a licensed non-life insurer and FSP. T's, C's and standard rates apply. My Way. Live your way.
It's time to hit the streets and show what you're made of. The Discovery Vitality Chicken Run, flavored by Nando's, is on Saturday, 8 November at 5 p.m. And this one's pure city magic, reimagined and revitalized through Josie, my Josie. Choose 5K for fun, 10K for bragging rights. Not ready? Come on, you've sprinted for a taxi, you've dodged potholes, you've climbed stairs when the power was out, you're trained. Getting there is easy. It's via the Gautrain to Park Station, then a free Prasa train to Ellis Park. Lace up, show up, and enter now at racepass.com.
This is Breakfast with Bongani Bingwa
on 702.
Let's walk the talk.
Oh man, get ready for a weekend to remember. So much happening this weekend, the 25th of October. Well, the Walter Sisulu National Botanical Garden in Roodepoort is going to turn into a music haven. We're talking the Old Mutual Music in the Garden Festival. An afternoon of soul-stirring performances, stunning scenery. You'll have Jazeel Brothers, but also MiCasa. And I'm so pleased to tell you that all three, Dr. Duda, J Something, and Mo T, members of MiCasa, are on the line with me today. Congratulations, I suppose, firstly, on this incredible journey and the longevity. And going back to 2011, I'm curious about how one maintains the chemistry of a group that has become so big over time. Dr. Duda, I'll let you go at that. How have you guys managed to keep it together so quickly? Bands and groups go their separate ways once you achieve success, and yet here you are intact and growing and still having this incredible impact and success.
Yeah, man. If one asks me if it's really that simple, I'll definitely say no, it's not. It's one of the difficult things, man, to maintain. And I guess we were lucky enough because we all wanted to achieve one thing through our music, which is like bring everyone together through our music, spreading love, positivity, vibes through our music, you know. So we kept this relationship going, and we're still like, you know, getting it hard to make it work. But one thing that solidify this thing is we respect one another, you know. So this thing is like a relationship. Now and then we need to take the spark high, so it's one of the things, man. So yeah,
It's part of the magic
it's way
in a way,
too
yeah?
difficult. It's part of the magic, but the respect and sharing the same goal makes it work, brother, man. I'm telling you,
Respect,
makes it work.
alignment, sharing the same goal. Moti, this catalog of hits from Your Body to Jika to La Vida is huge, and you've got now this definitive sound. How do you choose songs for a set list on an event like this?
Well, that's the toughest task that we face. It's always like, which song do we play? Which song do we leave out? Because the catalog is actually too big, from the first album to where we're at right now, and it's something that, even pushes us to even make medleys at times, because we're trying to fit everything in and to make everyone happy for the songs that they want to hear. Because, there's shows where, like, I'll always remember the show that we did in Cape Verde, where people pull out their phones and they were just putting their track lists of what they wanted to hear. And we ended up playing for 2.5 hours that day, So, yeah, it's always tough, but like, we always do our best to have the best selection. And of course, people's favorites, of course, as in their MiCasa hits or classics. It's always hard, but we always, find a way that we make people happy. And we're also happy also at the same time.
Jay, I've got to bring you into the conversation. I mean, I suppose one of the things in negotiating success, you can have a vision of what you think you want to do. And when that success comes, balancing creativity and what appeals commercially, because that's what the fans want. And yet you've also got an idea of the music and message you want to put out there. How do you find that sweet spot?
Firstly, I just want to say hi to everybody. It's nice to be here with you guys. And I also wanted to say that finally you have an event, Bongani, that you can go to this weekend. That's not Durban July. You guys can come to Walter Sisulu Gardens this weekend.
Now.
But, I think one, I would need to define success with you in order to better answer this question, because I think success very, very like Duda said, for us, success has always been at the heart of it, feeling like we have and are living out what we believe is our purpose, which I think is to shine love and light through our music and to create a space for our community to actually resonate with that and to have a space to go to be joyful, to celebrate life, to celebrate our diversity and things like that. That for us was always and continues to be success. So I think that is a pillar that we're able to stand upon that maybe doesn't have those strong winds that hits and relevancy carry. It's allowed us to feel like we have a place in society that is a little bit almost, dare I say, above and beyond the traditional forms of success.
I'll raise you and I'll say, I think success is certainly something you have achieved. That's a huge part of why conversations like this happen for you quite frequently. But I think in terms of the three of you coming together and the legacy you'll leave behind in terms of the indelible mark you've made on South African music and culture leads me to something far more enduring than success, and that would be significance, Jay.
Wow. I'm gonna leave it there because I love that. I love the fact that, it's always better when these words come out from other people and not ourselves, I find that for you to say that we have found significance within a within a time, culture being stories. I think that I take that and I'll run with that and sit with that for today. You've made my day.
Listen, the three of you have been absolutely amazing. I'm too mean to lie. I don't say this to every artist I speak to. I think you guys have achieved a particular place in the South African music and cultural landscape, and we appreciate the music and the hits, and that's why we're looking forward to seeing you at the Walter Sisulu National Botanical Gardens. This is in Roodepoort. Tickets are only 195 Rand, available from Web Tickets. The fantastic MiCasa will be performing, and thank you to all three of you for joining us on 702 Breakfast.
Respecting your every move, choosing what not to do. 'Cause I know your real worth, girl, and truly value you. Yeah.
Hey, where are you going to be on Saturday? Yep. Now I'm confused, KG. Pride, Old Mutual. There's the food festival, food and music festival at Constitution Hill. Hey.
702 podcasts are on 702.co.za.
It's 9 o'clock.
This is EWN.
Good morning, I'm Sfiso Zulu.